think Goof won't be here for this election
Goof is on a
debate.
plane. It's
Yeah, no.
unfortunate.
Well, he was disqualified anyway, and I think it's very sad that Goof won't be here because Goof encompasses everything I hate about SS13 players in one person. And I
Hey,
love him whenever he's arguing, and it'll be really sad for him
you,
not to
you know,
be here.
last headman debate, he hopped in right late, and he almost convinced me to vote for him.
I love Goof. I love some of the goofy things he says. See what I did there? He's a real goofball, I suppose you could really say.
Got him.
But he's just a silly guy, and I think a lot of his takes are very fun. And I'm afraid I'm sad that he won't be here. Is Stereo gonna make it? Do you know?
Okay, so on the list of candidate participations, we had
Mm.
3 tentative appointments. Stereo is one of them.
Oh no! All the funny guys aren't coming. What's going on? Wriggle, you'll have to step in. You'll have to like shit post a bit.
So it is entirely possible that Stereo hops in halfway through this all, and things become very funny. But we have 8 candidates who are showing up today.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we
I
can.
don't know where to view them if they're in this call or not
It's been
yet.
5 minutes, and we can start pulling them in. Do you have
Let's
a list of their names? Or see if
yeah.
we can post it here.
So those who gave me yeses to attend this great debate. Let's start with Chessify.
Hey there, what's up?
Hello.
Holy shit. Hi,
Welcome up.
how you doing? I'm here.
All right, who's next? Are we
Fiku.
anime titties and peppers up here as well? Is Fiku in the chat? RN.
Where's my funny
The
penguin?
fucking
He is in the chat, RN. Hello, chat. What is up? Okay, who's next?
Hi.
Ian Zero.
Ian.
Ian.
I see him there.
If I get any of your names wrong, please correct me.
Wriggle, can you please move him up? I will do that. There's Ian's invite. Who's next? Who else needs to go up here?
Pepper.
Why is Zemo here?
Hello, I'm here.
Pepper's already here.
I'm eating chicken wings right now.
Oh,
Site ID 2.
what sauce?
Sight.
Buffalo.
I think I just invited Sight to speak as well. Excellent.
X Poke. That is with 2 E's.
I have just invited Xpoke to speak.
Next we have I Wish for Ducks.
God.
I wish for ducks. Let me find him. I wish for ducks. Wish for ducks. Ducks, ducks, ducks. Where are you, ducks? I can't seem to find Mr. Duck.
Mr. Ducks might be a little bit late.
Or maybe I'm a little bit blind.
Mr. Ducks, if you are in this call, please DM Keith.
Or just ping me. Just ping me. Don't DM
That
me,
works
please.
too, yeah.
Please. All right, excellent.
Finally, we have Bugstep.
Is Bugstep ITC at the moment?
What? Oh, I'm here. Hi.
Hello. Are we missing
Alright.
anyone? Other than
That would be the yeses. We do have tentative for John Fulp Willard, Wine All Wine, and then finally Stereo. So if they hop in at some point, let's get them up here so that they can answer the question.
I've just been informed that maintainers have perms here, and I'm going to be removing that. Because Fiku has perms, and he shouldn't have perms.
Oh, it's maintainer sweep time.
Bye bye. El
Alright, so
Bozo.
John Willard
He-
won.
He should still be up here.
I just want to say quickly that John
Oh,
Willard won.
I Wish for Ducks is here.
Oh, excellent. John Willard won in the Headmin Toolbox tournament, so Sybil players are kind of
Get him in
NPCs. Just want to say that. Huh?
Aimbot.
So true.
Wait, I can do it. That's right.
No, I've got him. I've got him. I've got him. It's
Oh,
okay.
awesome.
We're in a rush.
I was getting a bagel.
Damn,
It's
there's so many
whatever.
fat people in here today. Jesus Christ. We need a headman candidate diet.
All
Holy
right,
shit.
everybody, thank you for joining us today. I know it was short notice, and I had short notice. It's been quite a week getting all these questions ready for you guys to answer. But we're gonna make this a headman debate to remember. And to start off, I want you guys to introduce yourselves and briefly summarize your platforms. What is your prior administrative, player, and development experience on Space Station 13? The question is not limited to TG Station 13. However, how will this experience inform your decision making for TG Station 13 as a head administrator? I will give you each 2 minutes to introduce yourselves. So let me just pull this up here. We're going to get going, and 2 hours. When I tell you to stop, so actually, let me tell you guys how this is going to work because I need to do that first. So, you guys are going to be presented with a question like this introduction question that I just went over, and you're going to be timed. So I've been pretty generous with the times. If it's too short, then we'll decide that in the moment and extend it. However, once you run out of time, I will interrupt you and you'll need to stop speaking. So let's say that, for instance, the question would be, what is Zytolg's favorite pizza topping? And I give you 30 seconds to answer. If someone goes on about how my favorite pizza topping is pineapple and uses up all their 30 seconds, I will ask you to stop. And this is to ensure that everyone has a fair and equal chance at pitching their platform. Nobody gets a second over what the time allocation is. So please word your questions carefully. This is an elevator pitch. Remember to add Zemo to the list of candidates. Can we get Zemo up here?
He's already up here.
Oh, perfect. Let me
I am
Awesome.
already headman. There is nothing you can do to stop me.
Arya. And additionally, in order to facilitate equal footing, I will use a random list generator to scatter your names through the abyss and come back with a list of who's going first and who's going last. So don't worry. If you have to go first on one question that you may not be ready for, you might have the opportunity to go less and answer that perfectly based on everyone's response. Please be respectful of other candidates' time, and you'll have ample time to answer everything. And that's pretty much it. It'll be pretty simple, and with that, I think we're ready to go. So once again, please introduce yourselves. Tell us about your prior development experience on Space Station 13. It doesn't have to be limited to TG Station itself. It could be any server you've worked on. All experience is welcome. And please tell us how this will inform your decision making and why this makes you the best choice for head administrator. We are randomizing now, and Bug Step will be our first candidate to go through introductions. You have 2 minutes starting now.
Of course, with my luck, I get the first roll. Okay. So I'm Bugstep. You probably might know me as Palladium 14. I play mostly on Sybil. I think actually I only play on Sybil. Experience-wise, I'm still a trialman, but that's only because I forgot to play for a month after I got my trial thread, and well, no one got to look at that. But I assure you, I do a lot of good admin work. I've only ever admin on TG, but I feel like I get fairly good feedback from people. My main things that I'm going to do, or try to do, when I become headman, my main thing that I really ran for is non-human heads. The quartermaster can already be a non-human. I just think that it should be expanded to the rest of the station. I think that a lot of good non-human players kind of get arbitrarily, gimped in that regard. I'm not looking to change Asimov or anything. I think that's fine as is. I'm also, just as a general thing, I think that we should enforce Rule 1 more often. I think that problem players, people like on Sybil, we had Ryder, we had Paris, we had a bunch of people who are dickheads and metagame a lot, and it takes them a while to get banned. Oop, was that 2 minutes?
30 seconds.
Oh shit, okay. I think we should just hand out like day bans for Rule 1 more often. If you're a dickhead, fuck you. That's it. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have X-Poke. Your time begins now.
Oh god, fuck. I mostly play on manual. Oh god, fuck. Sorry, I am really nervous. I do not have any, oh god. Fuck. I don't have.
Don't worry, just go through a history of what you've done here. Don't worry about everyone out here.
Okay, I have made some very cool and good PRs, I think. I am running for headman, so I can hopefully get rid of a lot of the metagang issues on, especially in manual. I've noticed a lot of it. Oh god. Oh fuck, I forgot the question. I'm so sorry.
Just tell us about yourself. These are introductions, so.
Oh,
just
okay,
what makes you-
I've been playing Space Station 13 for about 2 years now. Someone in the chat just said they're gonna kill me. Oh god.
Chat, be nice.
Fuck. But yeah, I wanna hopefully crack down on metagangs. Try to make manual more MRP. I've been playing on Sybil recently and it somehow seems more roleplay than manual. And my cat looks cool, so you should vote for me, I think. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right at 30 seconds. Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's all.
All right. Thank you. We'll move right along to site ID 2. Your time
Hello?
begins now.
Hello?
Hello? We can hear you.
Hi. Uh, I play mostly on TG Station Manual. I play a lot of silicons, and that is what I aim to tackle as headman. This term came out with, yes, chat, silicon player. This term, has put a neat silicon policy draft on the line, and I want to babysit it and polish it. I think there's a lot of things that, some protections that are missing from it that personally I want to see on it. Also, by the time I am done, there will not be any more invalid moth names. They'll just all be valid. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Ian Zero.
Hi there, my name's Ian Zero. I play Bob Stange, Chief Medical Officer on Terry. I've been playing since sort of mid-2019, don't have any experience outside TG. I've been like admin and leader in games before this one, and been an admin now for about 2 years. This is my third time standing for headman. And my platform pretty much always remains the same. It's not really much of a platform, it's just a sort of middle ground. What we have is kind of fine, and I find that like a lot of candidates feel they need to put forward a headline act on their platform, and a lot of those that I don't necessarily agree with, so I sort of run in contrast to a lot of those kind of things. So I should be a fairly sort of safe bet, I guess, sitting somewhere in the middle of the people's preferences in terms of if you've got something you really want to put forward, then take the vote. But you can sort of rank me somewhere below that if you start disagreeing with other people's takes, and I think that's just kind of always why I've stood. So that probably sums that up. 2 years admining, as I said, I've done a lot of tickets, done a lot of stuff on servers, on the front lines. I'm sort of used to some of what goes down there, and sort of just offering to bring those same sort of set of skills into the headmin fold. And I don't think I have anything else to add. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Next up, we have I Wish for Ducks. Your time starts now.
Ah, shit, I'm still eating my bagel. Alright. Real quick. Give me like 5 minutes. Or like come back to me in 5. Because I'm still eating.
All right. We'll do. We will head to Zemo for the time being.
Oh, okay. I'm the Bible Melts. I play as a green lizard man cryptid on Sybil and Manual. I didn't know I was going to be headman until like yesterday, so I'm all in the same boat of surprise as most of you guys. But I've been playing this game for like 10 years and kind of hope that I can help make it a nice little game escape that it's helped provide me over the years, and kind of promote Rule 1 over other rules, and just kind of using that as a basis to work on with the rest of them. I really don't have a lot to say, but, as I said earlier, I'm already head administrator, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I surrender the rest of my time.
Excellent.
And
Let me
with
just
that,
quickly
thank you.
interject because
Yep.
I want to explain why I voted for Zemo to be a headman. So I saw a conversation in Bus a while ago where Zemo didn't actually enforce the rules, but he just kind of did it on, I think, Rule 1 enforcement. And I kind of thought about that. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. I like that kind of enforcement. And so I think that is why at least I agreed to let him in. Because I feel like it's really cool to have admins who enforce it on kind of like, oh man, this is just kind of dickish, as opposed to going, this is how it's written. You will not say, FR. It's better to
So
have
you
admins who follow their emotions and who follow their hearts. That's
so
kind of cool.
so let me get this straight. You prefer the vibe check versus the stop you have violated the law check.
Well, no, absolutely, and I think if you're a player, you should kind of prefer that too, because sometimes you get pointed for shit, and it's just kind of shitty, man. It's not fun. Then you're like, well, the vibe's kind of stinky, but it doesn't matter. So it's nice to have someone who follows the vibe, who goes rule one above all, and who just has the attitude of someone who's back from 2015 as opposed to now. So that is why I at least voted Zemo in as the headman.
I guess we have our first headman endorsement. Incredible. We're not even 10 minutes in. All right. Next, I think we're going to go with the Penguin Man himself. Give it up for Fiku. Fiku, you have 2 minutes. I think
He's deafened! No,
Fiku
Fiku!
is deafened.
You have to wake up!
Fiku!
It's so Jova, chat.
It's
It's so
fucking
Jova.
Pico, bro. God damn it.
Fiku, wake up.
Go spam Fikova in chat to
Fiku's
wake him up.
Fiku's had his head in the pillows this entire time, and I haven't even noticed until now. Blatant disrespect.
Alright, well, I'm
Alright.
done with my bagel, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I'm I Wish for Ducks. I've been playing for about 3 years or so. I actually started on Bagel, so it's kind of funny that I started eating a bagel just now. I loved Bagel.
Oh.
I'm so sad that Bagel is dead as a server. But I mainly play on like Sybil. I used to play on Manuel a lot for like a year or two. So I have experience with medium roleplay and low roleplay. I love both of the servers so much. So my platform is mainly concerned with, well, it's controversial, but disabling felinids as a round start race, just because I don't like them. That's the entire point of my thing. I just don't like them. And then also something about admin training in there, because I feel like the admin training is kind of lacking in some regards. So if you're interested in the admin training thing, I won't go on about that right here, but I do have it on my campaign thread. I have admined on TG before for like 6 or 7 months as a trialman, but I stopped the trial because I got like burnt out. But I'm back, better than ever, and oh, I wish for ducks. That is all.
Thank you.
Also, the bagel was delicious.
It must have been a fantastic bagel. All right. I know where Fiku is, so we're going to continue, and we'll get back to him. Number 8 is Pepper. Pepper, you're going to have 2 minutes starting from right now.
Okay. Hello, I'm Pepper. Anime titties, whatever you want to fucking call me. I have played TG Station since 2016, according to Scrubby. I am a god gamer. I won the 2018, the original Toolbox tournament. And I won the Toolbox tournament in 2019 with the OG Ricky Miklowski and the OG Helen Weinstein. I've never been an admin on this game. I didn't see the point in doing it. I just want to be headman so I can actually make changes instead of waste my time taking 10 million fucking tickets at 3 a.m. That's kind of lame. So what do I want to do? I want to make it so headmans can't. I want to make a new headman role where somebody who actually fucking plays Manuel is responsible for the MRP servers. Because every single fucking election, it's always comes down to, which Mandyman is running, which Sibylman is running. It's fucking lame and stupid. And it always ends up dividing people and dividing the interests of the Headman team for an entire term. And I don't want to waste another 6 fucking months with Rave Radberry. So we're gonna make a new Headman. We're gonna make a new Headman role where he can fuck with the config all he wants. He can make fucking
30 seconds.
Okay, and then he's gonna mess with the config, do whatever he wants with that. He can disable war ops. I think you should disable war ops in Manuel. Then we're gonna make all of the fucking head rolls do their goddamn job with the fucking. We're not gonna have any people running around with the telebaton, not doing their job, letting their fucking entire department fall to pieces. And then also we're gonna open event hall where I can press as many buttons as I want, where I'm not actually gonna take any responsibility for doing bad events on event hall, you know?
Tom's up.
All right, thank you, bye!
Incredible. Thank you so much. Finally, actually not last either, we have Chessify up next. Chessify, you
About
have
fucking time.
2 minutes starting right now.
Hi there, my name's Cheshire. You know me from running and hosting the previous Headman election, as well as being an admin on a multitude of servers, and having an extensive history of work, including being the project lead behind the North Star map, being the map lead behind last year's Toolbox tournament, as well as running a lot of the things in the background. I've worked on a number of very enjoyable PRs, including laser muskets. So if you like shooting security and or assistance with laser muskets, you've got me, Knebian, and Red Sentry to thank for that. I was a monumental figure, I would say, with the March into Mapness event, helping out Arm Hewlin and other maintainers alongside that. And I have a history as a project lead and other management positions, as well as being an admin for about 2 years now. I have a very simple thread and very simple goals where I want to run as a headman without making claims making claims and big bolstering like, oh, I can do all these things that I can't totally do. I just want to keep the servers fun. I want to be listening to the players more often and running polls for things. I've got plans for actually getting more events run and not just saying I'm going to be running events. And I want to see if the community is ready to maybe start to look at the Kurt sector. Whether that be SS14 or if it doesn't work out, something else in its entirely. I've got history, experience, good work. Let's play a game. Let's have some fun, man. That's it. I will bow and also post the GIFs so you can spam them in chat.
Thank you so much. And finally, we have John Fulp Willard showing up before I could even introduce him. But he's here now. Let's hear what the Fulp man has to say himself. You have 2 minutes, John, starting now. John?
The two maintainers are asleep. What the hell?
John, if you have your mic on, we cannot hear you. And don't worry, the countdown's paused if you need to figure this out for a second. Yeah, your mic does not work. Do you want me to DM any, or do you want me to read anything that you have to say, or?
I agree with all of his points.
He says that he is he's made a lot of PR. He's John Fulp Willard, and if you don't like it, that's his introduction.
Just quickly, John also won the Headmin Toolbox tournament, I think. There was like a little Headmin Toolbox PvP session hosted, and he beat everyone here. He beat all the
Incredible.
Sybil NPCs, bro. You guys suck. You got beaten by a full admin.
I thought Fiku won the toolbox, or was that no? That was the fishing. So I want to see Fiku and John Fulp go head to head in a boxing arena and just punch every headman that tries to intervene and stop them. Headman Rage Cage, yeah, you got it. That right there. It looks like Fiku's not going to be able to introduce himself at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the first question, the first round of questions, which means I get to go back here, hit this, hit randomize again, and we have our next batch of epic gamers who will rule over you from a throne of, or no, a triumvirate of 3 people. Embrace this, oligarch. First question. What 3 core issues do you, what are 3 core issues that you believe need to be addressed during this head administrator term? How do you plan to address those issues? You will have 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer this question. I'm just setting the timer up right now, and our first candidate to answer will be the illustrious Site ID 2. Are you ready?
No, well, no, you just announced it. Give me a sec. You know what? Sure, let's go. So,
All right. Starting now.
Hello.
it is very unclear when you are playing a carbon how you are supposed to escalate against silicons. Silicon policy includes beating up the other dude, taking them to medbay if you're the defender, or the attacker or whatever. That doesn't work for cyborgs who cannot be crit, and it definitely doesn't work for the AI who lives in a metal box and can see you and can lock all the doors. So, to begin with, I would want escalation policy against silicons. That would be issue one. Then issue two, I wish we had like a concrete way for me to protect names I like from other 1984 admins. And recently, Archie actually placed a note like on my behalf doing that, and I was like, hey, that's an alright idea. I didn't know I was allowed to do that. Can I do that? And so maybe some clarity for naming policy in that regard. Maybe appealing a name. I don't know. How much time do I have left?
You have 20 seconds.
I can't possibly come up with a third thing in 20 seconds, so thank you for your time.
Thank you for answering. All right. We're ready to put Fiku next. Fiku, we're gonna have you introduce yourself first. You'll have 2 minutes, and then you'll answer question 1. This works because you were next on the list, anyways.
What's question one?
I'll tell you that after you've introduced yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Piku, and I'm an admin and an admin trainer, and I think I'm a maintainer too. Wait. I need to look at my headman thread. I kind of forgot what I wanted to do.
You forgore.
All right. So first thing is like making stuff faster. I want to get the headmans to agree on stuff like ban appeals quicker, so everything goes faster and faster, and we don't have to take up 50 hours for every single decision. And then I also wanted to experiment with the status of servers like Campbell, and like for example, we can, I don't know, if Manuel's on high pop, we could like increase, it could automatically redirect it to Campbell and other fun stuff like that. Curva, uh, and other fun stuff. Oh, and the important one for admins is like I wanted to centralize all the admin info because it's spread around 50 fucking different ass pages that
30
are
seconds.
all, and it's fucking useless to have it all be. Like some of the pages, like you can't even access them as an admin candidate, even with the special forum and shit. So yeah. Oh, and also I wanted to increase the word filter and to add some unsavory words that I don't think fits the state of 2563.
All right. Your time is up. Now you will answer question 1 so that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Question 1
What?
asks you, what are 3 core issues that you believe need to be addressed during this head administrator term? How do you plan to resolve those issues? You have
Oh,
1 minute 30 seconds to answer that question,
I see.
starting now.
Well, so I I've been pretty satisfied with this current term. I haven't seen that many issues other than the staff that I've talked about in my campaign, which is how fucked up all the admin information is, which I want to focus on specifically. I think I'll also try to, um, in the same vein, I try to look at our wiki. For example, the new player page is not very great. Like, for example, it fucking tells you to play prisoner when it's like the worst role you could pick as a new player. And then I think the LRP servers have dropped a bit into NRP status, and with the OC and IC there, I'd
30
like to
seconds.
work on that a bit. And then did I already say 2 or 3? Oh, I guess the third one would be that we have these server spaces like Campbell or Basil, but we don't really capitalize on them because we don't have many players there. So I want to work on that to make sure those servers have actually a purpose. Yeah, I think
And
that's it. You know,
all right, thank you, Fiku.
no problem, brother.
All right, next up we have I Wish for Ducks.
Yo, what's up?
You have 1 minute 30 seconds to answer the question.
Alrighty. First and foremost, I feel like the term has been pretty good, like Fiku said. But I think if I had to take like three main issues, I feel like I think this was a debate thread that I actually didn't respond to, but I feel like Dynamic has kind of just like taken the wheel a little bit too much. I would love to like get admins like more involved. Uh similar like somewhat similar issues. I feel like Sybil just has a lack of admins most of the time. Um I think Terry is even worse. I know there's always issues with getting Terry admins, but Ian has done, shit ton of work on that regard. There's too many damn rules. To be real honest. I feel like the spirit of the rules is forgotten a lot, and I feel like Rule Zero just needs to be invoked more. We're just having fun, man. Let's have fun. That's all.
Thank you very much. Without another word, we have a word from Keith.
Hello, hi. So I just want to bring up dynamic because we've wanted to do a lot with dynamic this term, but actually trying to understand whatever the fuck dynamic is. There's the issue really. Well, like I think we tried to remove green shift. We tried to do a bunch of crap still before the term ends, but it's a very hard system to understand. And I think any like a headman candidates who want to mess around with it, they're gonna have a tough time in learning it. Cool. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that insight. And thank you, I Wish for Ducks, for sharing your points.
No problem.
Excuse me. Let's see here. We have next up X Poke.
Oh god, not again. Um
90 seconds
fuck.
starting now.
Okay, fuck. It
3 core
was
issues.
3 core issues, okay. I think definitely a big issue is that the admin rulings seem to be very inconsistent. Like, sometimes they don't, uh, you'll get flanked for one thing, for example, and then the admins will, you'll like help somebody else doing it, and they'll be like, that's not against the rules. I think that should be worked on, maybe? I definitely think, I know, I forget who, I don't know. You guys' voices don't make sense with your names to me at the moment. I think somebody said that LRP servers are pretty much NRP. I feel like the MRP servers are pretty much LRP at the moment. So, going to, I think that needs to be worked on a lot because if you compare it to other MRP servers, it does not hold up at all. And a big issue that needs to be addressed is definitely the metagags. Like I said, they tend to ruin rounds a lot. Like, yeah, I think. Fuck. That's all I think, maybe.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Ian Zero. Ian, you have 90 seconds to answer that question.
Hi there. As a sort of status quo platform-ish, then this is not necessarily the most interesting set of answers. But I did come up with three things. Firstly, I am interested in dynamic and quite willing to try and get to grips with how it works. Maybe have a decent chance of that, but it certainly produces a bunch of sort of quiet shifts. And I think there's certainly good encouragement for admins to override it as well. But it's something I'd like to have a look at and see if anything can be made to work there. The other two are sort of fairly minor things. There's been a lot of internal discussion about played time versus calendar time for things, and I would continue to advocate the use of played times. I think that is a more useful representative for tracking people's behaviour and events. And the other one I hitched onto on my platform was the refreshing or doing something useful with the admin training stuff, because it is both sort of hidden away somewhere and a lot of it's fairly out of date. It could probably do some refreshing. Maybe it doesn't need to be hidden away in a forum somewhere. I probably don't have any issue with making it all quite public access so that anyone can use it as a reference source. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Zemo. Zemo, where are you?
Oh, that's
There
me.
you are. You have 90 seconds starting now. Answer the question.
I actually agree with a lot of things that the other candidates have said. Sybil, Terry, I feel like have become no role play as opposed to light role play, and I try to remind people of that when I see things said out of character, particularly. When I first came back after like a 5-year break, I played on manual first, and I thought that that was our light role play server because that was just kind of how things were back then. And then I played on Sybil, and it felt like I was in downtown Detroit. I'd like to kind of bump Sybil back up at least to the point where we might be able to at least call it a role play server. I guess that's really one point, but I do like some other platforms the other administrators have been standing on. I do enjoy Chesh's platforms about kind of making head roles a little bit more responsible and respected by their staff. I feel like a lot of head roles are just glorified members of their department. And I don't necessarily have a plan right now how to enforce that, but I'd like heads of staff to actually have meaning on at least the medium roleplay server. I got nothing else, so you can scoot along to the next person.
All right. Thank you. Next up is Bugstep. Bugstep, 3 core
Okay, yes.
issues. Starting 90 seconds, starting now.
Okay. So I honestly don't really know 3 main issues that I haven't already gotten to in my my candidate thread. But if I had to just come up with 3 on the spot, which is what I'm doing, I'm gonna say I think there's an over-escalation issue, especially on at least Sybil, where I'm adminning. I think that's something that we need to crack down more on. I think that goes hand in hand with what I said about Rule 1, though. I think that basically we need to stop people from being dickheads so much and getting away with it. I also was agreeing with what people were saying about dynamic, but I don't think that we should be. I don't have any grand plans about it. I just think that admin should be pressing more buttons during rounds that suck. I think that there are too many rounds where you have 70 people sitting around with a traitor, maybe a heretic, and nothing happens for an hour 30. And then, I think that we just need to tell the admins, it's okay, you can press a button, you can send a rod at medbay. Maybe it'll make things interesting. And that's 2, but let's call it 3.
All right. Thank you. Next up, we have Jeshify. Jeshify, 3 core issues.
Hey, I'm back.
What steps you're going to take? You got 90 seconds. Wish it was 30. Starting now.
As much as I love my ivory tower, I feel like that tower should be well informed. We need to be listening to people, we need to be talking to people. We need to be making changes and taking action for the community to keep the game fun. That's why polls and player interaction are a major part of my campaign. Leading into that is the idea that admins should be having fun too. They should be taking less of a, hey, I'm gonna sit here tabbed out listening for boink so I can eventually ban someone every round. And they should be working together to take more of a dungeon master role where they're creating little events and interacting with people as CentCom. People on Manuel and maybe Sybil will recognize my intern Kevin events as something that's kind of like that, where things will go great. How much time do I have?
You have 36 seconds.
Yes, and finally, I just need to say this, but the events workshop and players can suggest events should be way more visible. It's a sub-forum in a forum. Nobody ever sees it. People have tried to interact there, but nobody ever looks. Just put it somewhere visible so people can talk about events and cool ideas, so an admin can skim it and they can work with people to make some cool things happen. Yeah. Fun first.
Fun first. All right.
Yeah.
Wait,
Awesome.
Chesh, before you step off, are you going to send a rod through medical bay? I need to know. Would
If
you
they
send a
deserve
rod
it.
through medical bay?
If
They deserve it, they always deserve it.
Yeah, I literally spawned a cult a few rounds ago because it was funny.
That's so mean. Don't you know I made a doctor? Don't you know how awful it is when Medgate gets breached with space? Terrible. Life
Well,
Center
you
of
just
the
send
station
2 rods
destroyed.
in.
Well,
So
okay,
that's
'cause
awful. That's even worse.
I gaslit the station into believing there was a cult. They figured out there wasn't a cult, and so I spawned a cult after none of them believed it anymore. It was funny.
All right.
Right, guys, quickly, headman interjection. So the last couple of candidates have spoken about fun, so I think it's important to highlight fun as a word, because maybe this is for people to think about, maybe this is for the headman candidates to think about. When you say fun, what's fun, for example, for me is very unfun for a lot of people. What is fun for you is unfun for a lot of people. When you're talking about fun, and specifically spawning things or doing all that kind of crazy stuff, you've got to somehow also think about how the others around you are going to act. Because something I got kind of yelled at a bit for at the start of my term was I did a lot of events which were pray for anything you want and I will give it to you. And a lot of people weren't very happy with that kind of stuff. So when you think of fun, you've got to really think, how do I kind of balance it to what other people don't like? If that makes any sense. Just some food for thought, really. Thank you.
Thank you for providing even more insight.
I like that take a lot.
It's a great take.
Yeah, the headman interjections are really good. I think
great.
something I would interject is I remember watching Sticky Mayhem. God bless. I miss you, Sticky, so much. They would run events all the time that would just give people, but they would go on and give the gibbed person a role. And God bless those events. I miss those events.
I remember who was it that does the funny super metal crystal that's blue and all biological? Those were fun.
That might have been a
That's
Sticky
Walter.
event.
I think that's Walter.
That was Walter.
have
Sticky
been
did
Walter,
something very
yeah.
similar to that.
Don't lick the blue crystal, guys. It's not great. Next up, we have Pepper. Pepper.
Hello?
What are 3 core issues that you believe need to be addressed during this head administrator term, and how do you plan to resolve them?
Okay.
You got 90 seconds starting now.
Number 1, I don't think anybody besides Stereo and Armodius and what's his name, I Wish for Ducks, everybody else is basically running on what I can determine is oh, I want to have fun pressing more buttons and doing events. Guess what, idiot? Everybody can press buttons. Everybody can do events. Nobody's bringing anything good to the table, so that's why I'm gonna be here and run for headman so I can at least make some kind of change, even if I fuck it up. Oh, Fiku, everybody, but vote number 2 for Fiku. Vote number 2 for Fiku. And also, I think that people who play head rolls, specifically because they get cool gear at round start and then they just abandon their job and run around, chief engineers and research directors who are basically just security officers in a different department with different access. And they completely neglect the super matter, and they completely neglect the fucking R&D. They just don't do their jobs. I think those people are losers, and they should play assistant. So we should make them do their job and at least put in the bare minimum effort into their job. And that's it. I don't. 2 things really.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Fulp. John Fulp. Does your mic work?
Does my microphone work now?
We can hear him. We did it, chat.
Yes, John.
I'm currently using my Steam Deck.
Incredible.
That's so fucking funny, by
That's
the way.
great.
It's
The
really
Headman debate
good.
from the Steam Deck.
I have to put him at top vote now because of that.
All right, you have 90 seconds. Give us 3 core issues and your plans to resolve them. Let's go.
Okay, so my main concern is assistants having mains access. I think they should not have access. So as Headman, I'm going to take it away. I also agree with some other things Headman said, like specifically the current Headman Timber. I like how he handles ban appeals, and I want to continue doing that. Other than that, yeah, that's all.
What rapid fire? The speed.
Fuck assistance.
Fucking light speed. Just fuck assistance, guys.
It's the speed of his
No
Steam
thanks.
Deck. It's running at like 1,000,000 frames.
All right, with that, we move on to question 2. Now, this is the doozy, guys. As you know, the rewrite of Silicon Policy is set to be complete soon. Naturally, the community has questions. What are your opinions on the rewrite, and do you believe anything should be changed? You will have 90 seconds. And first, leading the sites with his ID2 is Site ID2.
I'm first again. Lovely.
Wait, actually, it didn't re-roll. Never mind.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's
This is my thing. Maybe
You're
I should
taking
go.
this?
Maybe I should. This is like my whole platform. I
right,
guess it might help to talk about it a little bit.
All right,
But
let's go.
the chat is calling it rigged, though. I don't know.
The chat, it's okay. Site ID would be going next anyways. So you have 90 seconds starting now.
Yeah. So I think what the draft that has been written by this term is a masterclass in taking the existing SILPOL and condensing it down into something that is still readable and as effective, if not more than it was before. But there are still things missing from it that I want to see. And I also would like to be there in a position where I can tweak it as necessary. Some of the things that I think are missing, like I said earlier, I want escalation policy for silicons. I want protections for the AI upload against creating new AIs, maybe. Stuff like that.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Bugstep. Originally first, but now second. Let's hear what your thoughts on Silicon Policy rewrite is and what you think.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I didn't know we were actually rewriting Silicon Policy. I thought people were just saying, "Oh, we should do it. We should do it." I also haven't read it. If the new Silicon Policy. So I honestly don't have anything to say about this. Just be honest.
Fair enough.
I think that the AI just have a good time.
All right, AI players have a great time. Next up, then we'll
Sorry.
Well, we're gonna let Keith go in. He's wanting to interject.
Hello guys, hi. So it's clear that even though it was posted in our beautiful admin announcement, some of the admins haven't seen it. And I think we've got some player candidates running here and they haven't seen it. So it'll be unfair without telling them at least the goals of the policy. So the goals of the rewrite is first and foremost to make the policy shorter. Our current policy is about 50% shorter than the last one. So that's to make it easier and nice for people to read and understand. We also want to allow silicodes to kind of be arseholes, to do more with their crazy epic laws, and to take advantage when they're purged. And so the rewrite tries to accomplish all of these things. So just let me quickly relist the tenets what we're trying to achieve. Try to make it shorter, let AIs be arseholes, and purged AIs get rule 4. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anything you would like to say about that bug before we move on?
I'm be honest, not really. No.
All right. Next up, we have Fiku. Fiku says that this isn't fair because he didn't know he'd have homework. But Fiku,
It's
you have
true.
90 seconds.
Okay, I think Silicon should be allowed to be assholes because I think it's pretty cool, and I agree with the Headmans on whatever they do. 'Cause I believe that they have done a good job with the rework, and I would be happy to implement it. Or is it already? I don't think it's already implemented. I would be
We're
happy to
close.
implement it. Okay, that makes sense.
Are you playing?
But I believe that they've done a good job, even though I haven't read it. And I think that's just that, because I can't say much without, having actually read it.
All right, thank you.
Fiku,
Fiku.
does
I
the
have a quick
Starbucks say
question.
peanut?
I have a quick question because chat is going wild. Are you playing Ultra Kill right now?
No.
Are
All
you?
right, chat. You, you, you can't just claim that Fiku's playing Ultra Kill. He's obviously here. Zemo, we got
Oh.
the rewrite of Silicon policy. What are your opinions on it? Do you believe anything should be changed? You have 90 seconds starting now.
I haven't read our existing silicon policy, but I think silicons should be allowed to do whatever the hell they want as long as they're sticking to their laws. If they don't have laws, I think they should be wild cards. They should be allowed to plasma flood if they want to, but they should also face the consequences of their entire team being murdered if they do decide to plasma flood. They should listen to their AI, of course, above all things. So if their AI is telling them not to plasma flood and then they decide to plasma flood, they're still up for a banning. But otherwise, you know what? I just keep it simple. I don't think people want to read a 7,000 word essay before they can play a robot in a silly space game.
All right, thank you. So no nanotrace and manual on Silicon laws and policy. I think that's fair.
I also think they should try to err away from trying to play as security, but that's a separate can of worms that we don't have time for.
Maybe we do. There's a lot of questions in here, and we're going through them. Next up, we have Ian Zero. 90 seconds. Silicon policy. Your time starts now.
Thank you. I have read the new version, and I think it maintains a lot of similarity with the old one. There's a lot of stuff about interpretation of laws, following orders, and not being responsible for the consequences, which are already things in the current setup. The change of Purge Silicons to be Rule 4 Antag sounds good. I've sort of sold myself on that. I think the crew tends to treat Purged AIs as if they're Antags a lot of the time anyway, so might as well put that in writing. Otherwise, access to AI upload, that has been pleasantly simplified. It was quite a mess in the old Silicon policy, and I think they've done a good job of just sort of trimming it down, really. Thank you. I'm done.
He's done, sir.
Looks like Tool is muted right
Yes,
now.
he seems to have been taking a
Oh,
little bit of break.
no, I'm here.
Excellent. That
It
was always a
seems
floppy
like
situation. Glad to have you back.
it was almost over. I almost read this. Someone posted Fiku playing Ultra Kill, but not Ultra Kill. I almost laughed my ass off. We we have Xpoke next. Xpoke Silicon policy. What are your opinions on the rewrite? What do you what do you want to do about it? 30 seconds or 90 seconds. Go.
I haven't read it. I'm gonna be real with you. I have not seen the rewrite, but I trust whatever a site has to say about it because they play AI a lot and they're in that dumb nerd cube. So, yeah, I trust site on that. Basically, I trust whatever the Silicon players have to say about it. I don't play Silicon. I wouldn't know anything about it. But I have faith in the Silicon players to know what is best for the Silicon players. That is all.
All right. Leaving it to the Silicon players. Thank you very much. Next up, we have John Fulp Willard. Same question off to you.
So, as you all know,
90 seconds.
sorry, as you all know, I love silicon. That's why I disagree with this suggested new policy, because I think encouraging silicon to just kill more people is actually not fun for the game. And that's all.
Lightning fast. Man's living up to his light speed name. I wish for ducks. I pose the same question to you. You have 90 seconds to answer, starting now.
I'm gonna be real honest. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about silicon policy. This is like the millionth question about silicon policy. We're being like tricked into caring about it. I'm told that the silicon rewrite like makes the silicon policy shorter, which I like. Which I really like. It should be as short as damn possible. You should not read 1 million words. Also, I just think I don't really like silicons all that much, to be honest. The game would be fine without them, but they're really funny. They're really funny. They're so funny. The stupid ass laws that you can like make silicons have, so funny. And that's the only reason why we should keep in silicons, for their stupid ass laws.
Funny silicons, huh? All right. Thank you very much. Shushify, you're up next. Whether the
just have a few
silicon laws are
general-
funky or not, you have,
I have
90 seconds
yeah, I
to
know.
answer about the new silicon policy.
Okay. I have a
Starting
few
now.
thoughts on. Okay. I've got a few thoughts on silicons. Namely, I do like, because I play non-humans, I play humans. I like not having silicons as like a crutch on me at all times, but I really feel like we could go with some more outlandish round start law sets and changing things up so we're not always getting Asimov with a more comprehensive policy could lead to some less station aligned and less valid hunty silicons, which could be fun from time to time, but it would diminish that whole like, oh hey, I'm playing a moth, the AI hates me, and everything's really fun that way, just really just keep shit simple, which I do like about the new policy, but maybe also implement some more law sets now that we don't need to be maybe so tied to Asimov. Who knows? Again, use the poll system, see what people like.
30 seconds.
Well, 30 seconds, I'm done.
Oh, all right.
I'll punch every
thank you for
silicon in the neck. There you go.
Punch every silicon in the neck. Holy cow.
Introduce more fun law sets. Introduce fun stuff. That's all config anyway, so that's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Pepper, you're last but not least. What are your thoughts on Silicon Policy's rewrite, and what do you want to do about it?
I don't care.
They don't care. That concludes the topic on Silicon Policy. All right, moving on to question 3.
Okay, hold on. Bugstep told me to talk about this, and I completely forgot. He told me to talk about Sekborgs. We should have Sekborgs again. They're so funny.
We should have Sekborgs
Sekborgs.
again. Just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. Give it a week. Like what happens?
Wait a second.
There will be no more security team.
Right, Sec board.
I'm taking my time back. Sekborgs are
Need
fucking
boards.
stupid.
I don't care.
Sekborgs
I
fucking
don't
suck.
care.
Silicons have no place in crew versus
Order!
Empire.
Cyborg players.
Order!
Let them for.
You're gonna enjoy the unlimited fucking laser gun when they get emagged.
What an
Alrighty, I have
upset.
server muted everyone because we need to keep going if we want to finish in a good time frame.
What
And they
an
also have really
upset.
shit takes, and they don't play the game, so they can fuck off. Right, on to the next question.
All
you
right,
will.
Keith,
I will
this might
unmute
be a sore
everyone.
spot for you and your team.
I'm gonna
Question
unmute
number
everyone,
3.
so please don't.
On what
Thank you.
issues do you seek to improve over the current and outgoing head administrator team? And Keith, muting half the candidates might add some fire under your feet.
Well, we need to keep the debate moving if we want to finish on time. You know,
This
I
is
don't want
true.
to finish in like 5 hours, so we gotta keep moving, especially if we want audience questions, which I remind you are the most fun parts of these debates.
We have a lot of room for audience questions. This is true. All right. Once again, what do you guys think to improve over the outgoing Headman team? You got 90 seconds to answer. I'm going to roll the random machine again, and I'll do it twice. Ian Zero, you're up. 90 seconds starting now.
Haji, can I have the question again, please?
Sure. The question is, on what issues do you seek to improve over the current and outgoing head administrator team?
Yep, again, middle ground platform. Isn't really a lot to say on this. I think we've been in a good place now for a few terms, so don't really have any issue with the standard we're holding. I don't really want to push things too much higher. At the end of the day, we're all volunteers doing a job, so cut everyone a bit of slack. But I think we've been in a good place for a while, and would like to maintain that. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have John Fulp. On what issues do you seek to improve over the outgoing head team?
Actually, I like the current Headman team. I really especially liked what Timber did, and I want to continue what he's doing. Other than that, I'd like to see less Keith. That would be really greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's all. Goodbye.
That is savage.
You see, it may be savage, but John, you're a fucking NPC. You make bad features. You suck.
Yeah, that's
Okay, thank you. Next person.
All right, we have Pepper up next. Pepper, I posed the same question to you. You have 90 seconds.
Okay, I think they did okay. I think all of the disagreements I have in this term were just like game admin decisions that weren't even worth like holding up, arguing about because it was so fucking stupid. The one thing I would do, I think Keith was like last time he campaigned that he was going to get rid of inactive admins. I don't really think he did that.
But at the moment, we have almost 20 caves open with inactive admins. Which
Okay,
I
when
am
did you open them? Did
Well,
they
I'm
not?
waiting
Did
for a
they not
response.
reply? Oh, then
Well,
fucking deadman them, you
they
fucking
are.
idiot!
They are. Don't worry.
Listen,
This is
bro.
Let me add some procedure. Actually, this
Listen, bro.
happens at the end of every single term. That's when the people get de-admined,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a de-admining people is kind of more difficult than you'd expect because when you look. Sorry, I'm kind of interjecting here. When you look at it's a standard to the admin someone, this is just for everyone so they know. Every single headman has a different standard. And you usually won't be able to de-admin people unless you have 3 admins who disagree. And these standards can literally be from logging in once a week being enough to maybe logging in once a month being enough. And so you have to somehow find a standard which all 3 headmans agree on, which is hard. And then you have to like de-admin people. So it's just difficult in that regard.
Well, I mean,
Like,
why don't you just lower the standard for retired men's coming back? If it's just like, oh, you need to, if you're a retired man and you want to be a game admin, just put in like the bare minimum effort to come back. So getting deadman for being inactive isn't such a big deal.
the standard is different every single headman term. So once again, it's
Okay.
just interjecting. Because every single headman term, it's the 3 headmans who decide on what's coming back. You can't actually have a standard because it will change every single 6-month period. So that's where the difficulty lies. It's a very fair criticism, but hopefully this context
All right.
prepares you for any challenges you may face as a headman.
Okay, I have nothing else to say about that. Good job, Keith, even though you're British.
Whoa. All right. Thank you very much, you two. I pose the question next to I Wish for Ducks.
Okay, what
You
was?
have 90
Can you
seconds.
repeat the question? I was too busy laughing at sec boards.
Okay. On what issues do you seek to improve over the current and outgoing head administrator term?
I guess my biggest issue, well, bringing up my 3 main issues would be, dynamic just not being all that good of a replacement for like dungeon mastering. What was my other things? Oh yeah, just the lack of admins on Sybil. Let's see what else. I don't know. That's kind of it, really. Oh! Admin training. That's what it was. I'm in training. I feel like admin training's really lacking. I think Ian, you worked on something for like a wiki page for admins, right? Chime in, by the way.
Yeah, I started writing up some VVs
Yeah.
and and stuff.
Yeah, so I really want to work on that. That would be really fun. I guess you don't really need to be a head admin to do that, but that'd be something I would do. All right, that's all.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Zemo. Same question. What do you seek to improve over the outgoing head administrator team? 90 seconds starting
I
now.
want to be Timber Pose with less required essay posting.
Thank
Um,
God.
I honestly didn't pay too much attention to exactly what all the headmans were working on this term because I was just kind of getting reacquainted with the game myself. I'm kind of coming at this with a pretty clean slate mindset here. I'll take a look at what there is that might need to be changed and what people talk about, and just kind of go forward from there. I don't really have any strong opinions otherwise. When I get prompted, I usually have an opinion on something, but I don't know. I feel like I'm still kind of relearning things myself, which might be good to have a kind of a fresher perspective, a fresh/older perspective. I don't know. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Fiku. Fiku, what do you seek to improve over the current outgoing head administrator team? 90 seconds starting
Well,
now.
I think, as I've already said, that I've been pretty satisfied with the term, and I haven't seen much to change. And I already kind of answered this before during the last two questions. So I don't know, just like the stuff that I've been talking about in my campaign and such. Ah, fuck. Yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you, Fiku. Next up, we have Shesify. 90 seconds. What do you seek to improve on over the outgoing Headman team? DC'd. Uh-oh. Shesify got DC'd. Quick, Keith.
Who got the seed? Sorry,
Shes.
Chessify.
Shesify.
Chessify can rejoin because they have their own permissions too. I think.
No, I can't.
You
This
stripped
is
the
your own
permissions, I
permission.
think.
I was looking for you. Yeah, sorry I couldn't find you anyway, but it's good to have you
Yeah,
back.
no,
But
you people cannot say che-shi-fi. It's like 3 syllables. Anyways,
I'm
so
choking right now, so listen, like physically, but it's
no,
okay.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Anyways, what I would like to improve of is something that the current Headman team has actually been doing really well, and Timber's done this a whole lot. And I actually made this image. I'll post it in chat right now. I made that image for them, and they have posted it multiple times. And I think applying "fuck around and find out" to more situations is absolutely something that we can be doing because it simplifies a lot of situations where people fuck around and then they find out. So yeah, that's what I want to do more often.
Fuck
Yeah,
around and
I
find
know.
out.
I made that image, and then Timber keeps posting it.
All right, I like it. Next up, we have X-Poke. 90 seconds to hopefully not apply fuck around and find out quite yet. What do you seek
Well,
to improve on over the outgoing Headman team?
I'm gonna be real. Up until like a few days ago, I didn't know who any of the headmans were. So that's a thing. I guess that's probably an issue that should be improved on because I have no idea who any of them are. And I think I voted for some of them too, but I just forgot that they existed. So maybe they should be in the games more. I don't know. That is my take, I guess.
I love it. Thank you very much for sharing.
Can I ask
Bugstep.
a question quickly
Oh,
before we
go
move
ahead.
on?
Go ahead.
How exactly would you make the headmans seen more? For example, I'd say I've been pretty active in game and I've been acting in the voice chats, but that's only reached some very goofy LRP players who I love very much. To all of those who have been in those voice chats, hello. And it's how will you reach a wider audience?
Well, you said you've been reaching a wider audience, but I have never once seen or heard you, so.
Well, we were having My Little Pony watch parties in the Art VC with Fiku, and like there was
True,
like
brother.
30 of us, and we were all just, we were just fucking about, like, and I think that's the big question. How do you plan to reach more people? We have 3 different servers, obviously, and someone who's active in one part of the community may not appear very much in the next. Do you have any concrete kind of plan or anything?
I think I would host little events, and I would make use of the Add Everyone feature, which I feel is not used enough, and that will get everyone's attention. I
Okay,
think.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, you two.
Okay, this is my turn.
It is Bugstep's turn. Yes.
Okay, so honestly, especially from like someone who just plays the game, I like to say that I play the game, and I do. I haven't really noticed much of what the headmans have been doing, honestly. This entire cycle, whatever you want to call it, I haven't noticed much of the changes at all. The only thing I really noticed was I'm pretty sure weren't the headmans responsible for making revs end rounds? That's a change that I don't like. But other than that, I feel like the headmans have done fine. That's okay. I just... Okay. Sorry, I actually read something about this. Also the thing with, headmans were trying to change or write up some sort of rule that if you were invalidly arrested by security, you can escalate against them. I think that's something that should just be handled by Rule 1. I've already had like 1 or 2 tickets that were like, hey, I was gulagged and I don't think I did that. Can I blow up Brig? I just think that it sets a kind of a bad precedent. I just think that the headmans, they've done one good thing, and I don't know.
All right.
It's just
Next we have Site ID 2.
There was a controversial ban that I did this term, and I don't want to say just, the admin need head. I don't want to say just that the admins need headman support, but when Timber came in and he delivered the verdict from the 3, I really liked the way that he comprehensively broke down why every single element would stay. And I think that's something that this term did really well, and we can improve on even further, is explaining admin activity or actions and why they've been done the way they were. Comprehensively.
All right. Thank you. We have that wraps it up for this question. We move on to question 4.
actually real quick before you go on, I want to kind of amend what I said.
All right.
The revs ending round thing. I know people actually like that. I'm surprised. I was surprised that people liked revs ending rounds. I'm not against the idea of a rev ending rounds, but the fact that it ends it so abruptly, I think, is what sucks about it. Cold has the whole summoning, and then you get the arm at the end. There's the nuke, there's the blob alarm that goes off for 60 seconds. With revs, it just ends instantly, which I think is just...
Jank.
Yeah, I think there needs to be something, whether it's instantly calling the shuttle, or you get to go to the Rev Paradise, or it calls in a death squad and there's a 60-second timer. Something. I just think that there needs to be something done about that.
All right.
I think it's bad as it's implemented.
I had to cut you off there.
Thank
Can I
you.
Can I quickly comment on that? Because there's
Go
actually
ahead,
some
Keith.
commentary that can be made. First of all, the reason we did it in that way was because, well, it's a coding issue. Revs used to always end rounds, and we agreed that we thought that, well, there's no fucking point to continue the round and shit afterwards. The station shit, everyone has like a million guns, whatever. It's not important. But all we can really do is turn it off. We cannot add anything else to the end or like do anything quirky or crazy like that. All we can do is basically have the round end or have it not end. If coders want to do anything, they're obviously free. But I think this is Moth Blox's. It's her like thing, and they're the maintainer you kind of have to go for. And in regards to the sec change that happened, it was actually brought up after we had one. It was brought up to the admins before we did anything. And our initial thing was you can escalate on sec if you A help. And then admins didn't like that, so we just made it fully an IC issue. So cool. So that's just some context on the stuff that was mentioned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have question 4 now. What inspires you to go above and even beyond to serve as head administrator in this turn? You will have 1 minute to answer this question. I'm rolling the random machine now. Bugstep, you are first. 60 seconds begin now. What inspires you to go above and beyond?
Okay, so obviously I like TG Station. I think most of the people here like TG Station. I enjoy pressing the buttons, obviously not just pressing the buttons, but being admin, trying to help people, making rounds fun. I want to become the headman to, touch on a few issues and have a bit more sway in making it so people have a better time in the game. Just for the sake of the game, really. I'm yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Ian Zero. 60 seconds. What inspires you to go above and beyond?
I guess it's just trying to find a practical use for some of my skills and abilities and make a contribution that I believe I'm good at and that helps make a difference and make this place work better and sort of reshape Terry a bit over a couple of years. Yeah, I think that's about it really.
Thank you. Fiku, what makes you go above and above and above? Starting now.
Well, what makes me go above is I felt like I've already done a lot for the server as an admin trainer and like as a maintainer, and I want to just like keep on doing the best I can with however my whatever powers I have, and Headman would allow me to do some stuff that I think will make the game even more enjoyable. And I don't know, that's pretty much it.
Did you just
Thank
kill
you
Pepper?
very much.
I cannot hear you.
What was that?
Are you
I
playing
can't hear you.
you now?
Oh, maybe.
Fiku. I wish for ducks. You're up next. You got 60 seconds. Above and beyond. Let's go.
This is how I'm going to answer my question. Please look in the chat channel. That is all.
You know what? I can agree with that. I concur. Thank you very much for sharing. Next up, we have Site ID 2. 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'll also post an image in chat here, but I do have words to go along with it. What inspires me to go above and beyond is the same reason I'm still playing here today, and it's the sense of community that I found when I initially joined this game. I know it's a controversial topic, but the manual Discord and now this Discord, there is a very real sense of community. That is why I'm here, and that is what inspires me to administrate to begin with. And if you just look at the left side or the right side of that image, well, we're both, right? But this
20.
whole idea that we're on the same side, that's what's inspiring me.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have X Poke. Above and Beyond, 60 seconds, starting now.
So, what inspired me to run for admin, basically?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it was like 4 a.m. and the headman elections had just opened, and I was looking at the platforms and they were all pretty much shitposts, and I was like, you know, I could be better headman than that. I could make the server better.
Awesome. Got anything to add to that, or?
Uh, my cat is good and I'm better than the others because I have a song.
You have a song. I'd vote for that. Next up, we have Pepper. Pepper, what inspires you to go above and beyond for head administrator? You got 60 seconds.
Fucking spy.
Hell, wait.
Can you?
I want to be headman because I can actually make changes on the server. You can't do that with admin.
Watch out.
And I want to be able to make the server a little bit better and bring a perspective that isn't cringe.
Behind you.
Not like Ivory Tower type shit, you know? Damn it.
Okay. That's I don't know how to respond to that one. You saw
Who's
it here.
winning?
Chessify. You have quite the situation to follow up on. What inspires you to go up above and beyond for us? You got a minute.
Well, because I want to run a platform and a campaign not on like lying or on doing silly things. I just want to be good at what I want to do. I want to stay on the grind to continue with self and server improvement. I have ideas that I think could be implemented as a headman. And again, it's just server improvement, self improvement, enjoyment of the game and the community. And yeah, we're posting cat, so here you go. There's one of mine.
Cats and for the community. I like it.
Can I get a :3C in chat, please? Thank you.
All right. Zemo, you're up next. 60 seconds above and beyond.
I think Space Station as a whole is just kind of a very transient experience that we're all kind of privileged to be able to play at the moment. There will come a point where this game, this server, won't be around anymore, and I'd like to make sure that during the time that it is around, that everybody is able to create stories and be able to form amazing memories of certain specific rounds that they'll be able to carry for the rest of their lives. I know Space Station 14 is a thing, but even that will eventually fade with time, and I just want to make the best space that I can while this game is around. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up is John Fulp Willard. What inspires you to go above and beyond for head administrator this term? 60 seconds.
So I've seen many headmans try to remove assisted mains access in the past, and they always give up and revert because people don't support it, completely missing the point that removing their mains access is better in the long term, and disliking it in the short term is the point of change. So I want to have their access off as long as possible, so future headmans don't want to revert it, and that's really it.
All right. Lightning fast. Awesome. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to question 5. Keith, do you have anything to say?
I mean, just quickly with the main taxes thing, a point was brought up earlier by, I believe, Timber when I was speaking to him. And, you know, this might be leaking the headmin bus or whatever, but it doesn't really matter because I'm sure he would have said this publicly as well. There was a point where mains were disabled for assistance. And they were disabled for like a little while, and they were also disabled for sec, I think. and in the middle they flipped on the assistant mate again to see if anything had changed because people stopped complaining, they didn't really care, and main got flipped back on, and people just didn't really like change anything. They didn't really give a shit, and so I think the end of the day conclusion that they got from this little experiment was that it doesn't matter if you have them on or off, nothing actually changes, and it's just kind of a bit more obnoxious to have them off. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, question 5. We're getting some meat now. Campbell is TG Station's European MRP server, and it suffers from extremely low player population. Do you think we should repopulate the server? And if so, how could we achieve it? Rolling the candidates up. Josh, you're up first. You have 2 minutes.
Listen, so when I was first a trialman, that is when MSO shut off Campbell. Or, sorry, shut off Manuel and forced everyone to go to Campbell, right? I went there, I tried my hardest to admin rounds, I played multiple rounds, I suffered through Sekborgs, and the second Manuel was back up. Everyone went back there because that's where they're used to. All the NA and NA West and NA East, and even a bunch of European players all went there because that's where their friends are. Now, whenever I go onto Campbell, it is a desolate wasteland where you can't do anything about it because the few people that actually play it use it as a marathon server, even though it's not a marathon server. Rules aren't followed. Seeding it doesn't work. Campbell is just, I would say it's a lost cause, personally.
All right. Fiku, you got 2 minutes to discuss how you might repopulate Campbell.
Okay, so this is a part of my headman thread. So thank you. Wait, sorry. I got a little preoccupied there. So for Campbell, firstly, I want to try using methods like enabling the servers being on the hub. So for example, we can have Manuel on the hub, and then when Manuel reaches high pop, we can automatically redirect people back to Campbell. And I think that that can be a good method to get us some new fresh blood, as well as populate both servers at once. And I also think, just like a general encouragement of admins to stay on that server and admin it and do events. We can let admins also, like big announced events. That would be fun, I think. And that's all.
All right. Zemo, do you think we should repopulate Campbell? And if so, how could we achieve it?
I mean, I've kind of shitposted about this a few times, but I might be down for experimenting with making Campbell a heavy roleplay server if anybody's interested in that. If anybody's interested, I feel like it might be an experiment where like maybe 12 people play and it's got like one consistent admin, but it's better than letting the server languish, I guess. MSO has talked about being open with the idea of having a marathon server, just not making it Campbell. So, yeah, it's in the cards. That's it.
All right. HRP is
quickly,
pretty interesting.
Sorry,
Keith?
Zemo, would you be willing to write the rules to make it HRP?
I'm willing to copy paste somebody else's rules.
Are you? But I think. Are you willing to enable ERP to get that extra pop boost?
Of course I am.
Well then, TG Station. This is why we Headman elected him. Thank you very much.
Unfathomably based. ERP, HRP, replacing Campbell. I like it. Ian Hero.
Hi there.
how do you think we should repopulate Campbell? How could we achieve it?
I think it's been hard to follow on from the previous comments there. I guess prior to that point, I didn't really have any great ideas. It's been tried before and hasn't really been very successful. There's no need to shut it down either. It does fit a certain role and niche at the moment. Ideally, Manuel would flow over and populate Campbell at some point? Question mark. I guess that's the hope, but having seen it being tried and not really successful, I don't have any great plans.
All right, thank you. Fulp.
So I don't think there's really a point in trying to fill Campbell. If you ever get another influx of players, then they may or may not fill the server with its own community. But until then, I think it's pretty much a futile effort, especially since player limits have been removed on most TG Station servers, so they can have as much pop as they want.
All right, thank you. I wish for ducks. I pose the same question to you. You have 2 minutes.
Campbell. Campbell's a funny server. Do we really need to populate Campbell? I don't know if we really do need to. Does Terry have population problems? Because I feel like the only real reason we would ever make Campbell get populated is because Terry has population problems. But does it really need a population?
Terry has no
okay, it has an
population cap.
overpopulation problem.
It has no cap.
Yeah, I mean, if it has an overpopulation problem, then we can open up Campbell as like a second Terry server, just a second Europe server. I don't know. I think Mr. Stone wants to do something specific with Campbell, though. I think he wants it to be a role play server. Not sure on that, though.
Oh my god, I just saw Stereo.
But that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, John. Stereo, you...
Stocks, fool!
What was the fucking question? I just got here.
All right, Stereo, could you introduce yourself to our wonderful audience?
For the people who don't know, I am Stereo. Awkward Stereo is my C key because Stereo was already taken. I've been around the TG sphere and Space Station as a whole for about 2 years. 6 months after my first appearance, Wubbly picked me up as an admin candidate. And then I think 8-10 months after that, I went from trial admin, game admin, solely and exclusively playing and admitting on Sybil. And I am running for head admin because I think it's funny. Vote for Armodius, because that's what I'm going to do. Although Fiku is a close second. And yeah, all right. What was the question? Because I literally just got here. I didn't hear.
Yeah, no. Thank you for joining in. So we're on our 5th question right now, and it has everything to do with Campbell. You'll be going 11th, and we're at the halfway mark there. So Campbell is TG Station's European MRP server, and it suffers from extremely low player population. Do you think we should repopulate the server? And if so, how can we achieve it? So we'll get down to you after site ID 2.
All right.
Next up is I Wish for Ducks.
What? Shit, what was the question?
Campbell is TG Station's European MRP server.
Oh, no. You already answered this question.
Yeah. Oh, you already asked?
What?
I already asked
Yeah,
it?
I already answered. I just
All
said
right,
that I don't know if there's a reason to repopulate it.
All
Right,
right,
that's all.
thank you. Pepper.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I don't think there's a good reason to ever repopulate Campbell, like, to make, like, a consistent effort towards doing it. Because, like, I remember when Terry got added, and you scratch that off on your bingo card, back in my fucking day, Terry was, like, a joke when it was first added, because all the EU players just played on the old servers anyways, and then gradually over time, as the server got more players, it filled up. I think it'll just happen on its own. You know, it's the same way that Sybil and Bagel, like, switch back and forth between which one is the high pop server. It just kind of happens naturally, and I think trying to force it is just kind of a waste of time, you know? It's kind of really stupid. And yeah, I mean that's all I gotta say about that. Cause like, there's not much to say. I mean, like, what's the point? Really, is what I'm trying to say here. I was a fucking bot in my game. Ah!
All right, going from that, X-Poke, you're up next.
I have no clue what that was that I just heard at the thing before me, but Zemo pretty much stole what I was gonna say. I think trying to turn Campbell into a high roleplay server would be a good idea. And I would definitely be willing to admin for it and possibly help write rules for it if that were to happen.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Bugstep, you're up next. Share to us your plans on a Campbell repopulation, if any.
I don't think we should repopulate Campbell. I like Campbell the way it is, as it's like, I love the Campbell channel that we have in the Discord. Just seeing like every once in a while someone posts that they made a million super matters or something. I think that's very funny. I don't know why we don't just turn it into a marathon server, considering that's already what it is. There's really no plan to. How are you going to force people to play Campbell? Well, I don't care about MSO. Okay, Justify, I hate MSO. Um, so like, yeah, you're not gonna they mentioned that when they shut down Manual and made people play on Campbell, they just went back as soon as it turned back on. No one's gonna play Campbell because they just don't want to. The European players want to play on Terry, and they want to be racist, and that's the issue of the Terrymans. Like, that's just all there is to it. Let it be a fun marathon server, and if you want to like test something, go to Campbell. Who cares?
I'm just going to quickly interject and say that in the last N-word graph, Sybil actually had more N-words than Terry.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
well, I rest my case.
All right, thank you very much. Site ID 2, you're up next.
As some of the
You
others have
about
said.
Campbell.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
As some of the others have said, I don't see the need to force a population on Campbell. If the people aren't there, why are we trying to make people there? If we absolutely had to have people there, then Zemo's right. Enable ERP. I don't know that there would be an audience for HRP on Campbell because I mean, sure there are MRP players that are unsatisfied, but I'm not sure that going full HRP would have an audience either.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have Stereo answering his first question.
All right, this is in regards to Campbell
Yep.
population.
Yes. it is.
Fuck Campbell. I don't know why anyone really gives a shit about it. I'm not going to fix it in my term. I don't think anyone's going to fix it the term after, and I don't think anyone's going to fix it the term after that. So I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to fucking stress out about solving something that I can't fix when nobody really gives a shit about it. I don't know why people still talk about Campbell.
All right.
I'd rather focus on cool things like telling people to kill each other.
Murder. Fair enough.
Suicide is badass.
All right, let's go back here. Try. Oh. Interesting. I need to fix this. The list broke. The list broke. Not the list. We're gonna move on to our next question, and that's gonna be question 6. And this question is gonna kind of be a little bit similar but different to the previous question, but not horrible. And that question is advertising on the Beyond Hub good for TG Station? Is it good for drawing in new players? How else can we increase new player draw and retention? And now the random machine's fixed. Randomize and Sheshify, you're going first again.
Yeah,
You
let's
have
not throw things on the hub,
90
please.
seconds.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we should be throwing things on the hub. Fact of the matter is, we have a very good and constantly growing player base. We get more people joining every single day, and most of them aren't even evaders, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if the hub would add anything aside from a tide of people, but I don't really know. We'd have to see how do people find out about the game. How many new people do we want? What can we set up for that? But overall, I don't think the hub is the way to go. We should be focusing on quality over just getting as many people in as possible. We should get people that are interested and are fun, because I'd rather play on a server with 20 great people in good faith than 90 people in here to fulfill the Seth video things, you know? Or we could just pay like some YouTuber to mention SS13 again. It's fine. We'll get Markiplier to play at Space Station. It'll be funny. All right.
All right, thank you very
That's it.
much. Next up, we have Site ID 2.
I think that was I disagree. I think it was an odd statement because someone said, I think agreeing with Cheshify, quality over quantity, but you can't just get quality players from thin air. I think having the lower population servers be put on the hub is a good idea. And in order to create quality players and making the new player experience better, well, that comes down to the players and teaching new players in character, which is one of the best things I see happening in game.
All right, thank you very much. I muted myself. Next up, we have Zemo. You have 90 seconds.
It'll be kind of hard to not go off on a tangent on this one. I don't think we should be enabled on the hub. I think we have some really creative, charismatic content creators as it is that are doing good jobs to bring in a flow of newer people to our servers. I kind of view Space Station as a role-playing game of dominoes, where sometimes you do need somebody that just smacks over a domino when they shouldn't have in order to get the ball rolling. We shouldn't just let those people do it consistently, but just as a little treat, it's always good to have somebody that does some things they probably shouldn't to get some Space Station 13 moments to happen. So no to hub and yes to promoting our content creators to kind of get the word out there. But I feel like we're okay with just kind of a consistent player base as it is. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Pepper. You have 90 seconds starting now.
I don't think we should put anything on the hub beyond what we already do. I think some of the servers already do that when there's like really low pop. Sometimes they show up on the hub. And I think we should keep it that way. I don't really think there's any need to change it. Like, it's kind of fine how it is.
If I might interject real quick, when I wrote this question, every server was up on the hub. So
I don't know. You're like up at like fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, dude. What's up?
But that's the context for that right there.
That's my answer to the question. I think
All
we
right.
should just leave it.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Next up, I Wish for Ducks.
I like the hub. I don't know what this opposition towards the hub is. I get like, sure, there's like quality of players, but like, TG should be really inclusive, and I feel like the hub is a really good source of like getting more players. Yeah, I mean that's it.
All right, thank you. Stereo.
This is regarding hub advertisement.
Yes.
So I'm conflicted on this because the way that I discovered Space Station 13 as a whole, and keep in mind, I am distinguishing Space Station 13 and TG Station as two separate entities. I first saw the Seth video, then I saw the Mandalore video, then the Seth video, and realistically, the way that I came to TG Station was pure happenstance luck. At the time, I think Admiral Hippie was playing on Sybil, and I was like, "Hey, TG Station. That's what these YouTubers that I'm watching are playing. Admiral Hippie, Melbert. I wish Pissbuster played on TG, but they were on a different server most days. And I think it's really just down to luck whether people actually go to TG, and you can sort of increase the odds that new people filter into TG by just maintaining growth with content creators. And I don't. And if you don't want to go with that angle, I don't think there's anything wrong with just leaving stuff on the hub. It's fine. You'll get some people, you won't. Just let nature do its thing.
All right. Thank you for your answer. Next up, we have Bugstep. Once again, is
Okay.
advertising on the Beyond Hub good for TG Station? Is it good for drawing in new players? And how else can we increase new player draw and retention? You have 90 seconds.
Okay. Are Bagel and Sybil not already on the hub? Or
They are,
'cause-
as of writing this question.
okay. Are they
Our
always in the hub? I mentioned someone say
our
that it
servers
was. Hmm?
our servers go off the hub when they reach like 40 pop or something,
Hmm.
and they are on the hub under that.
I'm for them just being on the hub all the time. I think the hub is good. We've been having a serious population issue on Sybil. Like on the weekends, we've maybe gotten 50 people at most for one round. And that's of course just people in the game. That doesn't include people who are actually playing. I just think that if we want to go on the hub, we need a few safeguards against people who are just shitty players or griefers. I think something like a big admin warning whenever a player that's only been playing for less than a week has goes to a chem machine or touches a plasma canister. I know last week in Sybil we were having a lot of issues with evaders and people coming in griefing, blowing up something, and then just getting banned. So I think having just a safeguard in place to keep the bad players out. The hub, there's nothing really anything wrong with it. Everyone's got to start somewhere, you know? That's all I have to say.
Oh, my freaking microphone. Fiku, you're up next, and thank you, Bugstep.
I think. Firstly, I would like to protest the fact that I can no longer stream. Secondly, I don't get why people hate on the hub so much. New players are the lifeblood of our servers. I disagree with the fact that we shouldn't have our servers on the hub, and I think while the current solution of 40 of it going off the hub at 40 power or something is fine, I'd like to see us at least experiment for like a month with trying out having the hub permanently on, so we can see if there's more increase in shittery that admins can handle, or if there's not. Because servers that are on the hub, people see them high on the hub, so they join them because they're high on the hub. So the servers constantly keep a high population, and having all our servers be populated is, I think that's a good thing.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you, Fiku. John Fulp Willard.
Hi.
So I think it's a good idea to have the hub, like the server be on the hub, 24/7, because new players look at the hub to find servers to join. And I think trying to hide it behind going through the website is just trying to hide TG from new players, which I think filters out a lot of people that we actually want to be playing on the server. Otherwise, I think it's fine now.
All right. Lightning quick. Thank you. Next up, we have X-Poke.
I'm kind of torn. I think the way we've had it right now, I haven't seen much of a difference. But I know the YouTubers have been bringing in a lot of people, myself included. So I think maybe we should lean more into that aspect of things. Also, bring back Fiku's streaming rights. Justice for Fiku. That is all.
Justice for Fiku. All right. Thank you very much. Finally, we have Ian Zero.
Hi there. Took a while to sort of get around to the current system, which is the threshold where it goes on and off a hub. If you look at the front page of TG Station, you can see a little globe for the servers that are currently advertising on the hub. I think it's good that we have a hub presence. I don't think it's a bad thing to have a threshold either. I think the game doesn't really scale past, say, 70 or 80 people that well. I mean, we can certainly have more, but you're then into a shift where most of the jobs are taken, and it's not necessarily the best starting point for playing anyway. There's no real concern around things like evaders and griefers and all that kind of stuff, because they're not coming from the hub anyway. They already know exactly where we are. And that's about that. Current system seems fine. You could maybe tweak the number.
All right. Thank you, Ian.
Quick-
Anything to add, Keith?
Yes, sorry, I just really wanted to say that Fiku is someone who wants to add more words to the word filter, and I would just like him to know that him being unable to stream is how it feels for me to be unable to say FR in the chat as God intended. Thank you very much.
Are you for real? Are you? Is
I
that
am
on
FR,
God?
bro. I am FR.
I swear to
For
God.
real?
Justice for
FR.
Fiku.
That's no
Moving
cap
on
flap
to the
back.
next question.
Victim complex.
We truly live in a society. All right, we're going to move on to question 7. And question 7 will be our final question before we open the floor to audience questions. You will have 2 minutes to answer this final question because it is a doozy. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of points to bring up. The last term had a bunch of controversial QC bans. What are your thoughts on them and bans in a wider context? Should we continue this trend? I'm going to randomize y'all right now. And we will begin with site ID 2.
I think they're great. We should do plenty of quality control. Let me immediately retract my statement because I don't think conceptually quality control is good. It should be covered by Rule 1. I think if we are having players that are consistently problematic, why are they still here? We don't need to have a special quality control thing for it. We have rules, and we should be able to point out which rules they're breaking or which rules they're line towing because we have Rule 7. There's no need to call it a quality control ban or make this elaborate case. Well, I guess you do need an elaborate case if it's Rule 7 you're trying to invoke, but that's what we have notes for.
Oh.
I'm done, yeah.
All right. Just making sure. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Bugstep.
Okay, so I didn't know that we called these QC bans, but this is basically what I had in my my headman thread. I said we should be enforcing Rule 1 more often, and I specifically mentioned people who have been, I guess, QC banned, like your I think Coral counts into this, your Ryder, your Paris, people like that. I think that this is a good thing. I think that it's positive. There are people that do make a consistent negative, have a consistent negative effect on rounds over and over and over, and you just need to drop a bomb on them and say, sorry, you're a dick, you're ruining the game for other people. What's the point? But I think that it's more just a Rule 1 issue. I don't know.
All right.
I think it's good.
Next up, we have Zemo.
QC bans are something that I've been for in short doses. I don't feel like we should have a checklist of people we're just waiting to take out and dumpster in the trash. I feel like QC bans are more the result of out of character actions than in character actions for the most part. And I think a lot of people can think of some people off the top of their head that would not be around if we were to enforce that very strictly. There should always be some kind of dissident to. I don't want it to just be an echo chamber. If we're quality controlling banning everybody that we feel is disagreeing with the way the server should be ran, different opinions are always valued. But if someone is consistently inflammatory to the entire community, the same way that you would take them aside at a tabletop game, just be like, hey, you're just kind of ruining the vibe for everybody at the table here. You got to go. It's likely the people that are QC banned aren't enjoying their time on the server anyway. And for the most part, I feel like we'd be doing them a service to kind of show them the door for their own mental health and ours. I think that's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you very much, Zemo. Next up, we have Stereo. Stereo, QC bans.
Honestly, it takes too long to ban some of the people who really need to get fucking banned. Lucy Cicero, Paris Connetz, formerly Paris Johnson. I know there's a few other. There were a few other civil. I think the only people who've been QC banned were civilians, and for good fucking reason, because they fucking sucked, and that was the only place that they couldn't get banned from. And the reason nobody wants to ban them is because the appeals fucking suck ass. And QC bans, they let somebody just sneak in and be like, you don't have to deal with this appeal. I'm just going to ban them for you. We can all just move the fuck on. Rest in peace, Evola Chitters, the only Atmosian that we had left and is now gone. And I think they're fine. Just keep them used in moderation. They have a place. Some people need to go. And QC bans, realistically, anyone can QC ban someone under Rule 1, I would think. Or the line towing rule, whichever one that is. I've never memorized all of them. And I don't think that QC bans have been too controversial. They've gotten rid of some of the worst people. Although I will never forget my homie Evola Chitters. Rest in peace.
Man lost a homie. Hit me in the feels. Next
Let me
up.
quickly give some context on actual QC bans because I think we've done 6 this term, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit
Alright.
less, but we've done 6
Go ahead,
quality
Teeth.
control bans. Thank you.
Spend the
And
next 2 minutes.
I think that's what the question is on. So when you're looking at doing equality, the biggest issue that's kind of with TG is that admins will have 1,000 good reasons to ban someone, but they won't. They will just leave note after note after note after note after note, and then you will get people. Like we had people who had more time banned. Like one of the guys with QC had more time banned than playing the game. Like he had more fucking time banned, like roll bans, week bans, whatever, than he had hours, minutes active on the game. And it's a real problem. And yet the problem is it's really hard when you have something like the forums. It's really, really, really hard because admins don't learn the lesson of not checking their peanut threads. They'll make a ban appeal and then they'll go into the peanut thread 5 minutes later and start arguing with everyone. And so it just becomes a really negative experience for everyone involved. And I think if you're gonna, if you, well, that's like an issue we need to kind of work on. And I wish luck to Zemo and the next headmans in basically getting admins to one, not look in the peanut threads, and two, ban instead of notes. If someone has 35 notes for something, like is roll banned from every job or something, and they're still playing the game, you kind of have to question yourself and go, hey man, why am I not banning this guy? Why am I giving him another day ban for doing the same griefy shit he's been doing for like 8 years? Thank you.
Can I add on to that just really briefly?
Go ahead.
I feel like a lot of admins are afraid to apply quality control bans just on the basis that if they are lifted by either the host or head administration team of that term, every argument against that player is not going to hold as much water. I don't necessarily know how I can fix that right away, but I
You
would
could just
like to give
encourage people to go
administrators
to you.
more confidence in applying those bans. Sorry, what'd you say?
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you there, but what we did this term is every QC ban that happened, they came to us first. So that's something
Yeah,
like all those who were placed, which is they just go to the headmans and go, hey, can I QC ban these guys? And then we're like, yeah, put together a case and we can yes it or no it. And I think
Yeah.
that's a really good thing to get more QC bans. I wish you luck.
Yeah, I do like that too. I feel like it ends up a lot of administrators, like you said, they look at their peanut threads. They see a bunch of people hating on their reason because typically the players see the quality control ban as just being banned for one single thing, as opposed to having the entire picture of why somebody is banned. I think that's a peanut gallery problem, but I feel like maybe there should be an administration vote of people that do have the full context of the ban as opposed to maybe just the head administrators. It should be a large group of people wanting that quality control ban as opposed to a small group of players or administrators.
All right. Thank you very much for the added insight. Next up, we have Chessify.
I'm actually glad that you brought me up next because there's nothing else to say. Keith and Zemo kind of just put it out on the table there. You need to be an open headman team. You need to say, hey, we are available to be talked to by the admins, by the players, by whoever. You need to work as a team to keep notes on problems. And the issue with administrating a community is that sometimes you're just going to have people that are just not healthy for everyone's fun. The point of the game is to have fun, so if someone's there and if someone's routinely and consistently causing issues, going to the headmans with a QC ban, which is really just a Rule 1 plus a Rule 7 ban with the added support of headmans behind it, it's just, it's natural. It's just what's going to happen. That's it. And also, like, I don't know. Nothing else to say about it. You just need to have them sometimes.
All right. Thank you very much, Chef.
Yeah.
Next up, we have I Wish for Ducks.
Yo, what's up? God bless quality control bans. First and foremost, Stereo is completely right that it takes way too long for these to be applied. And Keith is also right that it's like 35 notes until someone finally gets quality control ban. That's ridiculous. I think what the current Headman trio has done with quality control bans, I completely agree with. They let admins come up to them and they give the green light for it. The only thing I feel like that could be improved on is selling the fact that the headmans approved the ban. Because I never got that vibe from quality control bans. Like this quality control bans I've seen from this term. Like I didn't realize that the headmans greenlit it beforehand. And I think admins should be more aware of quality control bans. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Fiku.
Hello? Are you able to hear me?
I can see that you're playing a video game.
Okay,
Fiku.
well, I asked if you could hear me, not if you could see the game. So quality control bans, like the current headmans have, or I mean Keith and Zemo have already spoken. A lot of them matter. So basically, my thoughts are they are good because they let us because it lets the headmans encourage the admins to get rid of shit players, which I think that a lot of admins don't want to ban some people just because they feel like they are biased against them, and the quality control ban lets them show that, you know, if everyone has a bias against this player, that means there's a fucking problem with this player and they should probably be gone. Yeah, I think that's my That's most of my thoughts on it. We should encourage admins to do their job. We should encourage admins to do what they feel is right, and quality control bans that the headwinds do that in a nice way. I think that's my thoughts.
All right, thank you for sharing them, Fiku. Next up, we have Xpoke.
So I've sat here thinking about this to the point that I've kind of forgotten everything I've thought about, but I think, well, I'm a player. I don't know much about the quality control bans that have gone on this term. From what I've gathered, a lot of them were on LRP, if not all of them. And this is kind of tangential, but there was a thread about MRP bans and LRP bans, and I think at first I disagreed with it, but quality control bans for MRP in general, just to get rid of the people who are consistently LRP, to just force them back to the Terry prison they belong in, would be a good idea. That is all.
All right, thank you for sharing, Xpoke.
Exiled to the Terry zone.
Hey, so
Do
Terry's
you
actually our
consider
most
Terry
popular
a prison?
server.
Is Terry the server equivalent of Gulag?
Well, Terry's the best server we have, with the nicest role players, the nicest people. You know, everyone's so lovely there. You know, I will ask someone for a cleaver and they'll give me one. I'll ask someone for a shotgun, they'll give me one. I'll ask someone for a max cap and they'll give me one. It's just such a nice sense of community where you know you know everyone.
Everyone has your back. You
Yeah,
scratch their back,
exactly.
they'll scratch your back.
You call someone an antag, like this X-Poke person, who I'm sure they would just get completely annihilated on Terry because they're unrobust and
I am
unskilled.
very unrobust.
Unlike the Terry players, am I right, Terry players? Up in the chat?
I've thought of a better idea. If you want us to repopulate Campbell, instead let's throw the bad MRP players into Campbell and just banish them
Oh, there's an idea. Banish to Campbell because you couldn't MRP.
I just want to point out I've met a lot of permabanned TG regulars on TGMC.
How much friendly fire does that result in?
Not as much as you'd think.
Good to know.
Let me just quickly give some context on the ban thing, because that's why I initially interjected to do, but then I kind of had to defend Terry. Sorry if I feel like I'm singling you out, X-Poke. I'm just trying to get context. How do you expect these kinds of bans to work when there's a lot of like griefers coming in? So would you want there to be like 3 ban lists kind of then, like, you know, Terry bans, manual bans, and like global bans? Or do you propose some other kind of solution to this?
I could see something like that. Honestly, in my head at least, MRP bans would solely be for people who were consistently LRP. That would be all they would be for. So
Cool,
I
and
guess it would just be MRP bans and global bans.
okay, cool. No, that's fine. Thank you. I just wanted to kind of know what you wanted to think about that. Thank you very much for clarifying.
Thank you both. Next up, we have John Folk Willard.
So on the topic of quality control bans, I think they're swag as fuck, and we should keep doing them, and that's it.
Not even 5 seconds. Incredible. I love this man's conciseness. Pepper, you're next.
I think that quality control bans are fine in the most part, but I think the reason they're such a big deal now is just because there's so much peanut posting and people are taking that shit so hard to heart. Like they suddenly the hut matters about something. People's shit posts in the players club actually matter. And I think that's stupid. I don't think you should listen to peanut threads ever about anything. They're kind of like the fucking asshole of this community. You know, everybody shits every now and again. So, you know, I think quality control fans are fine in, you know, limited quantities. I think really, if you're gonna ban somebody for like consistent, you know, habitual problems, banning them should be self-evident. You don't really need to go on like a fucking huge investigation. If you hate somebody that much that you're willing to like dig through everything and like count their say logs, just fucking rule 0 them, dude. Like, why waste your fucking effort? I don't understand. It's just fucking dumb. if you really think it's such a big deal and you hate this guy so much, what is the harm in pressing the fuck you button? You know? And that's what I gotta say about that. That's it.
Thank you.
It's embarrassing when your fuck you button gets undone.
Yeah, it's a very brave thing to kind of say "fuck you," but like a lot of people are nervous, and I think a lot of people kind of get a bit shy. Like, imagine getting shat on by the headmans, going, "This sucks, bro. You suck. Fuck you for this bad." It's not. It's
I
not the
have
nicest
no
thing.
inhibitions in saying fuck you. I will say fuck you if elected headman, and you will not stop me. I don't care what anybody says.
Feel free, I suppose.
All right. Finally, we have Ian Zero.
There's not a whole lot left to say on this one, other than poor old Terry does get a bad rep sometimes. Ideally, if you're going to perma people, you really want it to be off the back of a ticket and an event, and you can certainly say, given your pattern, this has been escalated to, and all that good stuff. For things that do slip through the cracks, I think QCs have proven themselves to be quite a useful form of ban for redressing that, and I don't think there's any real contention around the people who receive those, so good stuff. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That wraps up the questioning phase of this. Now we'll move on to the audience phase of this. I think how we're going to do it is we're going to give we're going to look for raised hands in the meeting chat, and then I'll randomly pick somebody, and then each candidate will randomly have 30 seconds in a random order to answer that question.
Pick in like
Okay.
order so everyone gets a fair go. So like, do it in
Say-
order, in the order
in
the
order?
hands show up.
Okay.
Let me guess. I need to probably add some perms. Give me a moment. Permissions.
I can.
Because
This is
most
why you should
certainly
never be headman.
start
Give him a
writing
Discord
names.
moderator.
Discord mod. I do it for free.
Does he though?
I've
seen a lot of
Discord does it
tiger
for me.
pictures.
Thank goodness.
Certified space.
Hello!
Oh, what the fuck?
It's me.
Oh my gosh, it's
Hi.
Felici.
Your
Hi.
mic is very loud.
I have a question. That's why I was invited here, right? I think.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping up. Okay, I have a question for Fico. All right, Fico, tell the story. The closest time you ever came to death.
What?
Okay.
The blankets.
Not the blanket one. Come on.
It's a
I
good-
can tell you about the one where I was like in a park. I almost got hit by a car. That one was cool.
That is pretty cool. All right, you heard it here. Fico gets
Alright.
hit by a car. 2023.
Finally.
No, Mr. Kawapi.
Wait, what was the
Just-
fucking question?
About the blanket story. I'm not telling you the blanket story. Maybe when I'm headman. You have to vote for me to know.
What a
So we're
waste
gonna
of my
vote for
fucking
Fico so
time.
he gets hit by cars.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard him.
Guys,
Hello?
so questions are going to be for all candidates, so just bear in mind.
Okay, yeah. My question's for all candidates. And first of all, I just want to say thank you all to putting your names out there, possibly leading our great server to a brighter future. Now for this very important question. I used to have a Roblox account like 15 no 15 years ago. Like I want to say like 10 years ago, and I don't know the password. I don't think I registered an email to it. Which one of you can help me get it back?
Dude,
will
I'm in the
lend you
same
my
boat.
email.
I'll ask Bobblux to help you.
Yeah.
Fiku
honestly, just
2023.
Hotbox.
Fair. Thank you very
I can
much
give
for your
you. I
time.
can give you Robux. I can give you Robux. I have
Oh,
money
My
Robux.
spare email to use to get it back.
Bro, my dad is Builderman.
What?
Okay, guys,
Alright.
let's keep the
Unfucking
brain
real.
damage levels low.
Let's try to stay a little bit more on topic, guys. I'll get Rick up here.
Dude.
Hey, it's
Whoa.
nice to see
Two
you all in
people
this
got pulled up.
context.
Two
Dude,
people got
that's
pulled up.
fucked up.
Huh?
Let's slow down. I think the first one was Dongle. I'm really sorry,
Yeah.
Rick.
I'll just
Dongle
mute.
was
Rick, I love you,
thank
my
you very
friend.
much, Rick.
But you gotta
You're a great
die,
guy.
Rick. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Pickle Rick. Right, Dongle, your question, please.
Okay, so first off, this is gonna be a bit of a loaded question. For one, fuck all y'all Silicon players in chat. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. So for any of you who don't play Silicon, since Silicon rewrite is a thing that is eventually supposed to happen, if for some reason it gets forced in your term to be finished, even if you don't have any fucking idea, what are you gonna do for the people who don't want to read that bullshit? How are you gonna simplify it down to such a degree that people who don't even play Silicon could give a shit about it?
All right. Starting with
I have a
Cheshify.
good idea for that.
30 seconds. Go.
Oh wait, is this like a moderated thing and not like a?
Who's supposed to be talking?
Yeah.
We I mean, let's just do it. Let's just do
Yeah,
it
let's
free
just have a
fire. I
list.
think. Let's just do it free fire. It's a bit
wanna do
better.
it free fire? Okay, let's
Yeah,
do it free
because not everyone will have a comment, so it's kind of chill for those who don't care.
Okay, yeah.
I was
Right.
specifically asked not to comment.
Don't play Silicon if you don't want to read
No,
the
I
policy.
definitely want Sight to comment.
Silicon players, Omega.
Listen to me. Listen, you, even if you do not play AI or Cyborg, you are going to interact with them, and that is why you need to care a
Yeah, don't be
tiny
a
bit.
dick and don't kill them for no good reason.
You need
That's
to care
basic rules,
just the
really.
tiny. Yes, I know. Ian and I, we actually talked a long time ago about cyborg escalation and taking them back to robotics, stuff like that. Look, you don't need to care about half a silicon policy because you're not the ones interpreting the laws, but there is a part where you have to talk to the cyborgs, okay? You're gonna have to speak to them sometimes.
My solution is I will just, if Sight does not also get headman, I will just dump that all on Sight, make them do it.
Okay.
I don't know any of the pork stuff.
Okay, I am a roboticist main. I interact with the silicons all the time. I have rules of engagement with these people, okay? Basically, from what I've observed, silicon players are like soft antag rollers. They're like, oh no, please don't emag me. Do not subvert me. No. Oh, I hope I don't go malfunctioning. Oh, I hope I don't shock every fucking door again for the 1 million fucking time. Okay? And you just got to treat these people with like they're like ticking time bombs. They are just like waiting to fuck you over constantly. Okay? And you have to realize that encouraging silicon players to like play in a way that just is constantly waiting at half mast, waiting for them to murder bone, is not good. It's not going to encourage like meaningful gameplay with these people if they're
This is
just constantly
botany in a
trying to fuck you
nutshell.
over.
They do the same thing.
All right, guys.
I
Thank you very
actually
much for
have
your
all my
responses.
antags off.
Wait. Honestly, the way that I always handled rules and policy changing was that for a month, maybe even 3, depending on how generous I'm feeling, just ease people into it. The people who break the rules are the ones who obviously didn't fucking read it. Link them to policy, ban them anyway, but maybe be a bit more generous before you do so. And the people who aren't running into problems with it, I don't really care about.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's time. That's time. Thank you, everyone, for commenting, and thank you, Dongle Splunge, for your question.
True, yo, thanks. Time to get high.
Bye bye. All right, Mr. Rick, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here. And I'd like to say that if anyone's expecting me to be crazy, I actually have very recently started taking my medication again, so sadly that won't be happening. I have a very long, wordy question, so I can re-explain it in simpler terms if you want me to. But
Would you like to write it down as well so you can post it as you say?
sure, yeah, I can post it.
Thank you very much. It's just to
I'll
make it easier for
just
the candidates here.
Yeah, I'll just write it out as I'm doing it. Okay. Given that individual admin interaction has become increasingly polarized between application through rules as written and judgment on character, if given the chance, how do you direct the behavior of admins in the future? Do you believe in the punishment and evaluation of players on their individual traits and merit, or rather based on how they have violated the rules as they're stated? How structured should the administrative policy on notes and bans be? How do you handle extraordinary players like key spriters, coders, and content creators being consistently problematic. Please give at least one reason in your response to each question and address counterpoints. For bonus points, explain how admins should handle disingenuousness or manipulative behavior in A-help. All right.
Oh,
Well,
fuck, I need to
actually,
copy
I
paste
have
that.
some thoughts like off the bat here. Namely, to start, like key spriters, coders, and content creators should not have any kind of, let's say, protections. Like they shouldn't be able to break rules that other people aren't allowed, and especially with disingenuousness and manipulative behavior, we already have admins harshening punishments for specifically lying, especially to admins, or for telling falsehoods, or especially, as you said, being disingenuous. A lot of being an admin is making those judgment calls, and being a headman, and I would imagine an admin trainer, is getting people that you can make judgment calls, all with our own checks and balances. So giving admins a list of rules to point towards, and then trusting them to make judgment calls based on what's fun for the round, i.e. Rule 0, and then also make calls off of the rules as written, you end up with a really healthy admin team, which is what we have.
Am I able to directly ask questions or respond to someone's statement?
You can do, but be wary that we do have like a time limit. We can't.
Yeah.
It's a lovely question, so just be quick, kind of.
That's
That makes sense?
fair.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, if anybody else wants to continue, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll add that I always add on to the note if a player was misrepresenting things in A helps, which includes outright lying or omitting facts. You killed me for no reason, but there was a reason. But to your main question, we're not ban bots. It's all about the player's intention and mindset and what they're here to do, how much fun they're providing to the rest of the server. The rules are there to help us, but our decision making, we're not ban bots. It should be on the player's merit.
The question is pinned in the chat if anyone else wants to chime in.
I'm still reading the question.
Slow reader?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay.
Oh, I'm trying to understand it.
And you want a slow reader to be your headman?
I can simplify it. Essentially, what I want to know is, do you believe in a very strict, almost legalist application of rules upon players, as like admins are cultivating a game world where these rules are like going to help that come to be? Or is it more of like a case by case thing for you, essentially, that if someone is problematic or you find consistently, not that they're breaking the rules, but that they are a bad influence, that you would ban them?
No, my answer to that is no.
So you would completely rely on like a structured set of rules
No.
to
The
go
opposite.
for.
The opposite. The
Yeah, but
rules
rules we have
exist as a guideline to create an entertaining environment for players. If the rules are creating this weird, strict environment where you're like back in fucking elementary school and you got the fucking hall monitor, Janny, then you throw them to the side and you just fucking wing it. Like, sometimes you can't write a fucking rule for every single situation, so you just do it. Do what's funny, man. You just gotta do what's like entertaining.
I
Because that's
understand
exactly
the
what we're at.
alternative isn't very tenable either. I mean, our rules are very much application of the spirit of the rules.
Exactly.
And if you want to go into the real world and look at how laws work, who's ever read the laws? There's like 500 pages of shit out there, and every week it has to get patched because for some new loophole. And that's just not a good way of doing what we want to do here, where you want someone to scan a page and have a reasonably good idea of where they stand.
I understand
The
that, and
rules.
I'm not choosing any position here in terms of what I believe in, but I do like bring this up because not only have I done this, but I know many other people who have done this, where almost like partaking in emotional manipulation in A help, or relying on things that are like adjacent to the game to get away with things, which isn't behavior that I'm proud of. And this was a long time ago, but I've seen that happen a lot, and it's very effective.
Yeah, I don't like when, because I think admins, you know, I got banned like 5 years ago. I got put on the watch list for disrespecting admins, and the entire time I was on the secret watch list, and nobody told me anything. So every time I would log on the game, I would get treated by admins like in a hostile way because I log on and they get a notification that I'm on the fucking server. And so 99% of the time, I would help something and they do nothing about it because they're like, oh, this is the guy who doesn't like me. So I went to the headman team about it at the time, and they never told me anything. They weren't like, hey, Pepper, you should change your behavior and helps. They just kind of like fucking put that shit on there. And it just like created a really shitty environment where I was getting gaslit every fucking day, you know? And
Yeah,
I
sorry.
really think
Running
I
out.
didn't even have any like admin history. It was just because they really didn't like me personally.
That feels a little tangential, but I appreciate the addition.
So I think we're out of time for this question because it's a very, very long question. I'm really sorry that more people didn't get to contribute. But let me just quickly add some context to the thing on extraordinary players. It's kind of a bit more complex because there's a lot of delegation going on. Like someone will have to, let's say you have someone who's in a certain aspect of the community and you kind of you don't want to do it yourself. You kind of want to go through the person who's on top and then tell them, and then they might have a different standard. So it's a bit like it's not as simple as just kind of treating them exactly the same because there is some kind of like delegation and stuff, which adds a bit of complexity. Just for a bit more context. But yeah, I'm sorry, that's the whole question we have time for. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for letting me speak. Also, if you don't have a GitHub account or have not made a pull request, I think you should not run for headman. Thank you.
Well,
Oh shit.
Nerd.
okay, thank you very much.
Real.
We're gonna move on to our next person because it's I don't want to kill too much time. Thank you very much. Next person is Conrad. You have been invited to the stage.
Shit, I'm here.
floor is
Can you hear
yours.
me?
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Cool. Right. Cool. So, question that I got, kind of spurned up from the campaign of another headman. I'm not gonna name names because they're not here, and I don't want they can't really defend themselves from what I'm gonna ask. So I had to change the question so it actually makes more sense. So the way I've been a headman for a long amount of time. I've been a headman for like what? I've been a headman for like 4 months or whatever. And in this time that I've been an admin, I noticed like a pattern of people that get invited to the team, where they usually are players that play a lot of hours, and they get invited to be candidate. Then they become admin because it's not that hard. Just don't be an idiot. And then they stop playing the game, or they play the game a lot less than before. They like lose interest or whatever. So you drop like from a lot of hours to just a smaller amount of hours. And at the same time, I've noticed that there are ways that the admin team can behave, or even sometimes that the headman administration can behave, that will make certain players burn out. So if you add those two things together, right, will make the admins burn out. You add those two things together, you grab a player that is somebody who would be liked by the admin team, therefore somebody who the admin team considers to be a good player, put them on the admin team, and then they get burnt out because somebody pressures them into doing shit that they don't really want to do, or just I'm talking about broad statements that I've seen, such as like, oh, half of the admin team doesn't know what it's doing, by prolific members of the admin team, which was really, really sucky. So I want to ask, coming in the next term, what are tools that you guys are going to bring into the table, or attitudes that you're bringing into the table, that would prevent admins, or at least avoid this whole like burning out stage, where you're not just losing an admin, you're sometimes losing a nice player of the community that we actually like because we put pressure on them. That's my question.
So
I have big
I'll
thoughts
talk
on this.
about. No, Serio, this is mine. Fuck you. So I'll specifically talk about admin burnout because I had really bad admin burnout, and I had burnt out on the game for like 6 months straight. So I think there's a few things that go into that. The admin training process kind of just throws you into the deep end. if you don't know a whole lot of people on the admin team, there's not many people that you can talk to. Sure, you can ping the supportman role, but it just like it never felt as much of a community as it should have been. And it always felt like I needed to like talk to people more before I actually became an admin. And also, shit. Can't remember what my second point was. I yield.
So I have a lot of experience with admin burnout. At the time, when I was admin, I basically watched every day as anywhere between 1 and 5, very rarely 7. Other admins would de-admin instantly the second that the round restarted and that they had reconnected. And it was really shitty to be the only admin, on the scale of things, junior admin, even if I was a full game admin. And I was alone for a lot of my adminning. And nobody checked in with me. Nobody said anything. They would just de-admin. They would play. My communication with them would cease to exist because it never was initiated. What I want to encourage, by example, by putting myself out there, is an environment where admins regularly check in with each other of their own initiative, because we're a team. But when it doesn't feel like that at all. I can only speak to how it was a year ago, but it didn't feel like I was a part of a team unless I was talking in bus, and even then, we were a loosely conglomerated union of sorts, and it didn't feel good. It felt really shitty. In fact, it felt so shitty that I wanted to retire because the environment wasn't very. There wasn't a lot of support. And pinging people in bus, pinging people in chatter, that's not good enough. The people who get burnt out need to see that other people are doing things, or at least taking the initiative to help you do these things, to help you keep the server on an even keel. And I want to encourage an environment where people are more proactively keeping up with each other, checking in, team building. Because it doesn't feel like a team.
I think. Because, I mean, when I started adminning on Terry 2 years ago, it was very much the same sort of thing. There was a few admins around occasionally, but a lot of the time it was just me sat on that server dealing with all of the stuff. And the job itself is very much like a sort of help desk job in a way. You're handling a lot of tickets, except it's probably a little more unsavory than many a help desk job. And those are quite famous for having fairly high burnout and stuff, dealing with all that kind of stuff anyway. Terry has evolved. We've had a few trainers on there. We've had a lot more recruits. And even now, as I sit here, I can glance over there and see that there are 3 admins on Terry currently covering, which is nice. And as I wrote my campaign somewhere, I think having other people there just to chat or bounce ideas off or thoughts of really makes the experience a lot more palatable. And perhaps, therefore, the best approach is to get more trainers and drag people out of Sybil into admin land.
Yeah, I feel like admitting on Manuel, there's always someone. I think it's fun just chatting in ASA, shit posting about the round with the others. I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes the whole team readies up, but that's okay. I don't mind covering for them playing because they cover for me playing too. Yes, admin metacomming is very real.
Yo, so Stereo is like so fucking right, dude. I can't even count the amount of people that have become admins and essentially they completely fucking disappeared. Like Lexia Black, Spyro Shark, Ricky McClowski, fucking Pissbuster, whatever you want to call him. Citrus Gender, Wubbly, like these people, they became admins, and then I was just playing the server, and they're just gone. I don't even see them anymore. And then they admin like super hard for a couple months, and then they just burn out and like go play TGMC or whatever. But happened to Baba Brown. I could list them on and on and on and on. But burnout is like a serious thing. I don't really have any lot of experience with like adminning a video game, but I know for a fact, like I do first responder stuff, volunteer. So we do a lot of like mental health training programs, recognizing, situations where somebody's burnt out or they got something that they want to talk about. And you gotta, I definitely would be interested in like looking in how you can take like FEMA crisis counseling shit and implementing it. Even though SS13 is not such a big deal. Literally people aren't dying, but you can definitely take some aspects of that and apply it to something that's like a public service job. It really is kind of like a customer service plus public service kind of volunteer work.
There is no
Anyone help
lifeline.
with that?
I have a few things to talk about here. I'm very, very familiar with burnout. I take very regular breaks. I think the important thing to prevent burnout and to keep the game fun is to encourage admins not only to continue to play the game, but to encourage a supportive environment. An issue that whenever I find myself burned out, I find it's because, like Stereo mentioned, I feel like I'm not being supported. I feel like I'm doing things on my own. I feel like I don't have someone looking out after me. As a headman, I personally feel like a big part of your job should be to lift other admins up and provide that sort of, hey, you can talk to me. Or, hey, you can talk to me. Hey, you can ping head admins. We can pull you into a cave. You can talk to us about what your issues are, whether it's within the team or within a player or with anything. Just headmen should be supportive and lifting up the rest of the team. They shouldn't be your boss per se. I don't know.
My DMs will personally be open for anybody that needs like some admin therapy.
Can I
If
quickly add
if I can
something
get head
after
admin,
you finish?
yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to let you finish first.
Oh, I'm
Please
just
carry on.
saying, if I can get head admin, I want to provide, and I encourage anyone else if they win to provide that safety net of support.
I think that's a very fantastic ideal to hold just genuinely, and I think it's very nice to want to support the people around you. But my experience as a headman has been that I'm not so much burnt out by the players. I'm burnt out by the admins criticizing every like small kind of smallish mediumist decision you make, or like you lift a note that some people don't like, or you do something that you don't like, and you get dragged into a bus argument for like 4 hours over like the most fucking pointless thing. And I think that's like
Absolutely,
and I think that's something
sorry.
seriously that sorry, I just quickly I don't really want to
No,
go
no,
into I
no,
just
no,
want
go, go,
to
go,
give
go,
the
go, go. I
context.
got, yeah.
And it's that kind of thing you have to realize that as a headman, as an admin, I guess it's a bit different, but when you're a headman, everyone is criticizing everything you do. If you make like a shitty, let's say you make a decision which you and your three headmans agree with, people try and find a way to criticize it if they don't agree with you, and they will try to turn it into shitty drama. And this is like the biggest burnout as a headman
I've
because
seen it happen.
what like when a player's doing it to you, kind of it's whatever. But when it's like admins and GMs and all of that shit doing it to you, it's a really, really draining experience. And I think that's something that everyone should watch out for ahead. And I appreciate that you really want to be supportive, but I think that you might find it hard to be supportive if you're constantly getting drained on by like
I
people
mean,
who
just
disagree with
as
the
much as
choices you
being
make.
supportive, you need to put your foot down, absolutely. I mean, I don't have the ability to do so just because I'm not a head admin, but there are times where there's been a conversation in bus that's looped into the same point like the 15th time over, and I feel like it's really important for a head admin to step in and say, all right, enough. Like, we're just doing the same shit over and over, and it's starting to cause drama. I know Timber and you have done that a few times. I feel yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go. No, go.
Yeah, I just want to say it's a really hard kind of thing, and I'm just trying
It
to kind of
is.
provide this perspective where it's as a headman, you just get a lot of critique on everything you do, and it's like with the players, like I feel like it's quite easy to drown players out. No, no offense to my fellow gamers, but like when you do something in a round and OOC's like, oh, you're a fat, smelly piece of shit. You're like, oh, whatever, bro. Suck my nuts. See you later. You can't really do that when it's in the admin bus. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really nice angle for fellow headmans to kind of take that every single decision you make will be critiqued and criticized, and you should be ready to handle that because it is heavy, and at some points it's just like, what the fuck am I doing, man?
Yeah. It's gonna be stressful, that's for sure.
Does anyone else have anything else to say before we move on
Chief
to the
4, if I ask for a bat cave, will you guys give me therapy?
No, because I already give people therapy in my DMs. I don't know if I
Alright.
can handle it doing it in caves.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean,
okay.
we're not therapists.
I have people message me mid-ticket
I
and
know,
like,
I
"Hey
know, I'm
guys,
joking.
help me with this ticket." And I'm like, "Oh, bro, please, it's my lunch break."
I
Right,
think the station psychologist role should exist to talk to people out of character about problems they're having in their real life.
Holy shit, let's go.
Well, thank you very much for your question. Sorry that that really dragged on. I thought that was kind of something that was pretty important to
No, I appreciate it. It's all good.
have a conversation on.
I'm gonna shill my platform real fast because I pretty much directly address admin burnout with my admin training policy here. I'm posting it in chat.
I mean, we're
Thank you.
all shilling our platforms.
Thank you.
It's
I'm
kind
gonna
of the point.
remove you now, Conrad, just so we can move on to the next question. Thank you
Shill
very
your
much for the
platform
question.
harder.
Chilling my platform. Vote for Armodius.
Okay, next question, guys. Ooh, sorry that took so long, everyone. I just thought that was a really important topic to talk about because it's
No,
really big,
we'll keep going on.
right? It's just a big thing. Yeah. Next person to question is Indiana Jones. Welcome him up to the stage. Oh, we're gonna have to be a
Hi.
bit quicker on the questions.
Okay,
so...
yeah. Quick question.
Yeah, sorry.
This is very serious. Actually, like unironically serious. So we've had a lot of discussion about dynamic, right? And as we know, or as I suppose most of you know, is that we have dynamic configured in different ways on different servers. If you become headman, is there any changes you'd like to make to the dynamic system on your server, and why?
Bro, I don't know what the fuck I can change in the config.
Yeah, I sort of
Can
touched
we
on this in my
reduce the amount of
platform.
fucking spiders, dude?
I think
True.
there's a couple of situations where it produces like low impact shifts, not just low threat rolling, but also low round start allocation. Even if you roll like 80 threat, if you get 0 round start and the first mid round is 20 minutes in, the crew's bored at 45 minutes, and you've got 2 tots on the table and 60 on spec threat. So I don't really know what options we get to tweak, but certainly, as I sort of said somewhere on my platform, removal of green shift may be okay because if you keep something like 10 threat as a minimum, 15 threat, and you get a low round start roll, it ends up being kind of like a green shift anyway, and that's why I think we have maybe a touch too many of those at the moment. There's certainly other things that would be nice to tweak, but I think we might be restricted by what's in code at some point.
Yeah, I think Seth is right in that dynamic. It kind of falls apart at low pop. I remember yesterday on manual, we had 20 population, 82 threat. There were nuke ops, changelings, and heretics. There were as many antags as there were people. The round was over in 20 minutes.
Was it fun?
It was no, it was over before it could get fun. I guess it was a little fun, but the point being, the dynamic. I don't think it works on low pop very well.
And another thing I gotta add, we gotta get rid of war ops on Manuel, bro.
I disagree.
No.
I also disagree.
We need to kill
I
more
like
people.
War-Ops.
I think
We
War
should
Ops is
tweak
literally
dynamic.
our
Best game mode.
The average MRP gamer enjoys the brief break in the power gaming rules.
We love getting to murder our friends and murder nukies and throw our friends as missiles at nukies.
Exactly.
I have to say, threat level is a scam because the real threat level is who becomes Antag, not how many Antags there are.
There's so much RNG after that.
Gene Ball
the
is
command
moving.
report is the most useless thing ever because it's like plus or minus 15 threat with a 15% chance of completely making it up and a 10% chance of it being pulsar, and it really tells you almost nothing about what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's fucking useless.
Well, guys, before we move on, I would just like to
good
say
for
I
a
encourage you all to pick up the dynamic code and to get coding because I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't think anyone on our current term knows how the fuck it works. So I really encourage you guys to learn it because I'm not fucking doing that.
Add zombies to the dynamic.
Right, we're
Dude,
moving on
zombies antag. Let's fucking go!
We're moving on to the next question. Thank you, Raj, for that question. It was a nice and short one. The next one is Wobble Chicken something. Wobble Chicken Wobbologist, okay?
What an amazing name.
I'm back, except this time I have an actual genuine question that I probably didn't say right. So this was a contentious issue last term. It got talked about a lot. I even think Lucas specifically platformed on not doing this, but I want to know what your guys' opinions are, guys and gals' opinions are, on an SS14 TG server. How would you like approach something like that, or if it's even a good idea?
All right, I'm stepping up. I'm stepping up because I have this is part of my shit. I have worked with Wriggle, though they have done a majority of the work here to get Kurt up and running. I've played on Kurt. Kurt is a server that exists. It is ready. We just need to get it working. We just need to get people interested. We just need to get the server up. Not much work needs to be done aside from support. Well, the hardest part, which is getting support and getting interest.
I gotta say something, bro. There's like 11 pages in the Players Club arguing about MRP and LRP, and they're like, oh, we shouldn't divide the servers further. Wouldn't making an SS14 server like literally divide people?
That is also my
Yeah,
worry.
it
It's a
seems
bad
too
idea.
dividing. Yeah, I don't agree with
I
that
also
idea
think
at
it's a
all.
good opportunity.
I'm fine with an okay, here's the thing. I'm fine with an SS14 server existing by TG members, but I don't think it should be a branch of TG. I think it should be its own thing because we're not equipped to deal with SS14.
Who's gonna admin on it, dude?
Who's gonna maintain it?
Yeah. So
Like
like
we're
a
the coders.
TG
That's the
sort
difficult
of
part.
solution. TG MC is what you're suggesting, something like that, like a side spin-off server.
I think
Yeah, but
it's worth bringing up from the development side of things. If we do get a 14 server up and it becomes popular, then probably a lot of the development would start to migrate over because it's on a more modern platform and it should be
I don't think it will.
simpler to develop.
Can I just quickly say that this is more of a code question because
Yeah,
we
this is
don't
kind of a
control
code
the
question.
contributors,
Oh,
and like if
no,
all the contributors want to keep contributing to SS13, you cannot force them to go to SS14. And I think that's like a really all the headmans can really do is go, yeah, I want the server, or no, I don't want the server, because at the end of the day, it's the contributors who are gonna make it or break it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I meant this from the perspective of if you open up a server, like have it on the TG name and all that, have our
no,
rules set from a
absolutely.
rules perspective,
I
having
just
our
wanted to kind of
admins.
draw a line there, just so like everyone in the audience is kind of aware that
Yeah.
headmans can really just say yes or no because it's really going to be the contributors who do that, and then you're going to have to
Mhm.
speak to like oranges and like MSO and all that kind of crap. So
Right.
I feel like if a Space Station 14 switch does happen, it needs to be so ready that we can just do it all at once. I'm not a fan of the split.
I'm
I'll
not
just state
sure.
what we all already know. If SS14 switch does end up happening, it'll be because Orange's says jump.
Yeah. I just think we should get things prepared for it. I think we should start to look forward to the future ahead of time rather than when it's at the point where it's obvious that SS14 is the deal. Maybe it might be Open Dream. We need to start preparing right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We should be
Open Dream's
prepared.
good. Anyway, if you don't mind, one small little question: who suggested the ERP on Campbell again?
I don't know, but I'm gonna kill them with a rock.
All right.
that's a fantastic idea. Thank
I
you
have
very
no
much for
idea
the
who
question.
suggested that.
Wasn't it Zemo?
I think
was-
we'll
I have,
implement that. I think
It was
we'll
Zemo, me,
implement
and
that.
I have,
XPOP.
I
We've
have
run out of
no
time for the question.
recollection.
Thank you very much. Next question, please.
Hey,
Who's next?
Zemo, remember the
Mr.
time we
Swiftcore.
ERP'd on Campbell?
Mr. Swiftcore, you have been invited up to the stage. Please accept your invitation. This is kind of awkward. Mr. Swiftcore, buddy pal.
Dude, I'm an ice snail.
Wait, does nobody have any questions?
Well, no, there are questions, but I've invited the guy up to the stage. He just hasn't. Oh, has he just joined?
Hello.
Hey, who joined?
All right. Sorry about that.
That should be Cubis.
Oh, am I not supposed to
No,
be here?
no, Swiftcore, you're meant to be here. You're
Okay.
meant to be here. I'm so
All
sorry.
right. All right.
You're the question asker.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'll just go ahead and start. So a lot of people earlier were talking about like how on the LRP servers it's lately it's been closer to NRP, like no RP at all. And I kind of agree with that, but I want to talk specifically about like the state of sec, where like beforehand when I first started playing,
Sec was kind of treated like, oh, you spend like the first half of the shift going after like gray titers and stuff like that, and then once the antag show up, then you're gonna go after them. And if you catch an antag on the way, then that's great. But now it's like it's only antag hunting, where like people are so hyper focused on getting antags that they're not really going towards like what sec is supposed to be, where it's like you're playing an officer.
I hate to point
What
this
server
out,
do you
but
play on?
the Sybil, right?
Yeah.
You come to Terry, it's a right mess.
I feel like this is. I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like this is a code issue because every single antag right now eventually snowballs into Super Saiyan. So, if you don't take them out early, you need to kill them, or else you're going to be fighting Goku late game.
Yeah,
Dude, I want to fight Goku.
Hey, you look pretty strong.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You look pretty strong.
To speak on this as someone who plays security, Palladium 14, the world's best security player, the issue with trying to go after quote unquote criminals and not going after antagonists is that, like you said, the servers are very NRP, and if you're going after everyone who's breaking into EVA or they're trying to get into text storage, you're going to make people very, very angry at you, and they are going to take every opportunity to make your round shit and maybe even just kill you. Because people just tied. There are certain degrees where like, oh, they're tiding into Brig, you can't let that happen, but you really have to pick and choose your battles because you have to be liked at least a little bit as a security officer because somebody titers already fucking hate you just because of your uniform. But if you're going around being very pedantic, it doesn't help anybody. So I think that's why everyone's a valid hunter.
I agree with that. Like a lot of the time, I feel like it didn't used to be this way, where people were like the titers sort of understood that like eventually if you're tiding, you're gonna get caught. That's just part of it. But now I feel like a lot of it is just like um they get very angry. They try and over escalate with you, and that's another part of the issue. Another part of it is just like um, I think Sinful brought up that tiding is a good mask for antags, and I think like actually trying to enforce the law at the beginning of the shift is actually good for catching antags. 'Cause, like if you let the dude who broke into Atmos and stole the fire axe just walk around with a fire axe, if there's nothing happening right now that he needs to defend himself with it, then he's probably going to he might have just stolen it because he wants the fire axe, or he's going to use it to kill people later because he's an antag or stuff like that. That same kind of thing. Like I had people argue with me that breaking into sec lockers and stealing the gear in there shouldn't be something you get arrested from, because like they argue it didn't actually hurt anybody, but like anyone who plays sec knows how big a deal of someone getting access to setcoms and flashbang protection is.
That's also the difference between an IC and an OOC thing, right? Like OOC, we don't care if you break into a sec locker and steal stuff, but IC security are quite valid to care about that.
Yeah,
and I think you should read the escalation policy around security as well, because if someone's valid for arrest, there are some pretty strict limitations on what they can do back. So if you're battening somebody who's got a fire axe and they're an assistant and they've clearly not obtained it legitimately, and you can remove their weapon and all that, they can't then kill you with that because that's going against what those rules are. And I think that clarification has helped quite a bit.
Yeah,
honestly, anybody who breaks into a sec locker should be arrested. And I think it's funny if you think you can try to hide sec shades from me, and I'm just going to break you for 5 minutes and shove them in the armory.
What do you want from the headman? Like, what
important.
I'm confused too. What's the headman thing here? This sounds like a sec thing. Well,
how is this
why are you swinging? What?
Yeah.
You could take those sec hoods from me for my cold dead fucking hand, Stereo.
Amen.
So thank you very much.
Yeah,
for the
I mean-
question, but like, yeah, it seems like it's more of a not really headman question, because I'm not sure really.
Policy.
what
This
you
would be
want,
good for
but-
a policy
Yeah,
meeting.
this is like more a policy thread, maybe.
All right.
Have you thought of that? Making a policy thread?
What's the policy even being argued here? That we just don't sec doesn't deal with criminals enough?
Yeah.
Also
Well,
a code issue too.
I think I just think it's. I mean, it's just literally a code issue though, because like there's no incentive to go after normal criminals. Because what the fuck would you?
It's
I think
funny.
it'll be a-
It is an
Oh,
NRP
this
issue.
okay. Yeah, this seems like you'd be arguing the same thing of like, why don't scientists do bombs every round, or why don't they do Xeno every round? Like realistically, they can and they should, but I don't see why we're arguing that SEC isn't doing enough when we don't require every other department to do everything.
Problem with that is that the incentive should be making the round better for everyone. So scientists shouldn't go or speedrun bombs and then run around with bombs. Not because of some mechanical incentive, but because the rounds will quickly degenerate into shit when they start doing that round after round. The same for SEC. They shouldn't go hyper on all antags, especially because someone posted a poster, because the rounds will be just bland after that.
I think this falls into like not power gaming. If you're breaking a locker open within 5 minutes every round to get sec HUDs and gear, then you're power gaming. If everybody does it, it's not a fun game. So why are you doing it every round?
It sounds like an MRP thing. I don't. Are you suggesting this is something that happens on LRP too?
Oh, we
It's
used to
trouble
ban
too.
people for breaking into lockers like in 2014, 15, 16. Like it's not like a new thing for LRP.
I'm kind of confused what rule you're pointing to that says that we should smite down titers for getting sex shit. I reckon we have rule 0 that says that you shouldn't repeat gimmicks that are detrimental to the round, but there's nothing about power gaming for LRP.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that that's on the titers for doing that because they're always going to break into it. I'm just saying like the fact that there's that kind of mentality around means that we should do something about how. But I mean, and people have brought up that this is kind of more of a policy adjacent question, so I don't really want to spend if it doesn't really fit the discussion, then you don't have to spend any more time on it. Just to tie it back into the discussion, I would just say I would like to see more efforts to increase the quality of RP on low RP because even though it's low RP, it's not MRP. It still should have some level of people are playing their jobs as a role and not just they're playing it because they want to dunk on people or whatever or use the tools that the job has just to some extent I'm not saying like MRP extent but to some extent people should be playing a little bit of a role.
Thank you very much for your comment. And I feel like it's definitely like an interesting point to bring up. But I think in the scope of this discussion, that what can be said's already really been said in regard of like if you want to have like a more solid answer, you could very much wait until next term and then propose some kind of policy with a solution to this because we don't force people to do their jobs unless that's what you're suggesting. I'm not sure there can really be another answer given to this question. But thank you very much for bringing it up to us. It was an interesting discussion whilst it lasted. Thank you.
All right, let's do one more question.
I I kind of have to go right now. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I think we're.
You're tagging me in. It's cool.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You're
give,
playing now. Look, just
Right,
let's do one more to give Chadley and Lodo an opportunity to.
Yeah, well, we've got
speak
4
a little bit
questions right
more,
now.
and
Let's just
then-
finish off what we have, I think, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
4 questions.
But we've got to be quick though, because I've kind of let people babble on me to kind of step in. I want to need to be stepping in more, so don't ever speak. Right, Seth, you've been invited in.
Oh no.
If you join. Hello, Seth. How did you get to your mic? Bro, what? Yeah, bro, sorry guys.
He's asking it in big text and.
What is your stance on
Headman
bounty
debate.
hunters and fugitives being treated as antagonists and killed because valid? Go.
Isn't there already policy based on that?
I think there's
Yeah,
a
we already
policy
have
thread.
policy.
That's kind of just popped up. Maybe we dealt with it.
Then make a policy thread about it.
I think
There's
there is
a
a policy thread, isn't there?
Or make a
They're
policy thread
treated-
about turning them off because honestly, I've seen them being used to meta grudge more than being actually play.
Okay then. We need policy. If
There really should be some solid policy on them, but right now they're treated as like off-station crew, not like off-station crew, but like just non-crew in general. So they have
Ghost
relaxed
roll.
escalation. Yeah, ghost roll. So the crew
It's
can
only an open policy
escalate
anyway,
against
so
them pretty quickly, and they
Yeah, but there
can
needs to be a
retaliate
reason
pretty
for
quickly.
escalation.
is there a
But yeah, that's
policy thread on it?
policy.
I think there literally is a policy thread open on this, and if we haven't done it yet, we're going to do it with Zemo.
Yeah, I swear I saw a policy thread on it a while ago.
So I'm HO. I don't think right now fugitives are very good for the game. It's a team that spawns in on occasion and kind of just does their own thing without the crew, unless the crew decides to involve themselves. I think they're soulful, but I don't think there's really like a point in having them until they're reworked, which isn't something that we control. So unless there's like a big policy overhaul on how they operate, or if there's a code change, I don't think they should be in the game.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Hopefully that gave you the response you wanted, Seth. Seems that most people are saying they've an open policy thread, and then Charlie chimed in with her a little bit. Thank you very much. Who's next? Mr. Shelton Mario, you are next. Welcome on stage, please.
So my question is, in regards to player-hosted events, I'm not too sure how many you guys went or knew about the one I hosted recently, like probably about a month ago, or a couple weeks ago, the paint contest thing. What are your guys' stances on that, and how do you plan on empowering players to possibly host their own events in the future?
Yeah, I want to move the events workshop subform to somewhere where people will actually see it, which I might be able to actually start looking into ahead of the headman terms, and then maybe use that and polls and maybe even a Discord channel if I can talk to MSO just to get people talking about events and excited and have a good place to discuss it. Player events, they're fun, they're good.
There is an events bus channel, but it's never really used. It's used for
meant
like the
for
big
the
events.
yearly events.
Events bus
Yeah.
is for the events team.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is,
yeah.
You should read my thread. I have a policy on that.
Yeah, some kind of like more relaxed events channel, or maybe like a Discord forum. Even though I really hate Discord forums, if it gets more people doing events, then I'm all for it.
I started out as an event host when I was getting into it under Keith. I think that enabling players to do it however they want is definitely something I want to encourage, either like publicly broadcasting that these events are going down, encouraging players to publicly broadcast them, or otherwise empowering them to do their own thing. I think that helps a lot. Creativity is something that isn't required of the admin team. The admin team is plenty creative, but I'd love to see how the players can be creative as well and empower the rest of the player base.
I want to hit the meteor button.
I enjoy people's
Not really an
ideas.
event.
I really enjoy being able to say yes and whenever people pray with a good idea or are just already acting a gimmick out. I see. I do just kind of start to spawn things in if I think it's going to go well with their idea, and if they respond well, I'll keep going with it. I haven't really interacted much with Event Hall though, so I don't know if what necessarily that's all about.
I can't remember the last TC trade I declined because I think antagonists kind of do that in a soft way and in a particular round.
Thank you very much for the responses. And let me just quickly advertise one thing here. You can run events as a player if you find an admin, I think it's a trainer or like a game master, basically someone to babysit you, and you can have the ability to run events. That's excellent. Thank you very much for the question. It was a great question. Love events. Your events are always fantastic, Shelton. I've seen quite a few
Thank
of
you.
them.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, thank you for hosting with the player. It really adds to the.
No problem. Can I just say one more thing before I go? Just like a couple
absolutely.
seconds. The next event I'm going to host is going to be on Terry. So if you're a Terry player, it'd be great.
You're yelling off my headman vote.
Damn it!
Dude, I can't wait to go to Terry and kill Gay Johnson.
Thank you very much, Shelton. Have a good one.
Yeah.
We've decided as a headman
I love
team,
you,
we're
Shelton.
shutting down Terry.
Okay, then we've got two more people, Grasshole and Oranges. So let's get Grasshole in here. Mr. Grasshole, hello.
Green.
Okay, cool. All right, so I was trying to fill up my ice tray. I spilled it. So give me like a sec.
No.
All right, never mind. Basically, sec shit. Space law and all that fucking bullshit. Especially in LRP, where it's basically NRP hellscape. How do you feel about antags, especially like the big group, like festering growth, taking over other players and turn them into antags? What's about killing them just like immediately as a sec? Like if you see one, he got all the suspicious shit, you just kill him. What's your thought about that? Because I fucking hate
Just kill them.
You just kill them.
It's LRP is rule 4. That's what they want.
In
It's as
Russia,
simple as
we
that.
also have Rule 10.
Goes both ways, yeah. I mean,
I still
antags can
think
murder and
it
kill
gets used
everybody.
unless it
Everyone
has
can
to
kill
go
them.
through a head of command
It,
staff.
it's up to the player who like does the arrest. It's not for
Yeah.
us to mandate.
Yeah.
If you have the time, like, go ahead and convert them back to station side, but also, like, really don't sweat about killing them that much.
As for MRP, I think Thrax brought this up and I support it, but actually formalizing space law into something loose for players to follow would be fun for MRP. If it works well there and if LRP players want it, the only issue I see with that is infringing on Rule 4, which a lot of people super enjoy, and I think it's cool because it's what keeps TG unique.
I think the really bad problem with conversion antags is they're not afraid to kill security, like just outright kill them. But like as security, like you kind of have to step on like eggshells about killing them at times, and I don't know that it kind of makes
But doesn't that
security
come with the
not
job?
fun.
Isn't
I
that
guess
the
it comes with a
of
job,
kind of
but
riding on eggshells.
Anyone can just kill you. You can kill anyone that's valid. Deconverting revs, somewhat in your interest because some people don't
I
really
didn't
pick up on what's
specify.
going on.
Sorry, I didn't specify. I mean permaing, like permaing.
Perma them?
revs, not just.
Yeah,
Or-
fuck it. If you're a
perma
cultist, you're getting permid.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's up to the security officer. If you're sitting there with like a box of like holy water and a cultist uses restrain, you just tell them to remove them. That's kind of just a dick move.
Nah, dude, fuck that cultist. He's getting beheaded. I'm tossing his brain out the airlock.
At least on
I feel like security has enough meta protections that if shit starts hitting the fan for them, they have the escalation policies to just fucking annihilate anyone who gets in their way. Like specifically the one that's protecting them about riots. If it's getting to the point where shit's out of hand, then go wild.
We don't have bad security policy. We have bad security players.
Oh fuck yeah! Fucking
So
Paris. I fucking hate Paris.
So true.
Thank you
I
very much
fucking
for the
hate Paris.
question, though. I think
Of
everyone
course.
said all there is to say about it. Thank you for the question. Thank you very much. Thank you for making your ice in the big VC. I really appreciate that. Oh my god, oranges! Where the fuck did you go? You had a. Oh, are you in? No.
Orange has
Hello?
lost faith in everything and just
Yeah,
left.
Oranges is here. He's right below me.
Am I
real?
Oh, I am
Hello?
here.
Yeah, you joined. You
Thought
didn't.
I disconnected.
I was gonna
Okay,
accept you.
I have a really simple question. I want you to channel your inner parent and say which of the admins is your favorite.
Harmodius, duh.
Fiku.
I have a hate-love relationship with Vector.
How can you say
Yeah, Vector. Vector, definitely the best admin.
Arm Hewlin, motherfuckers.
Oh no, Arbulin!
He's not even an admin.
Is he
That's
admin?
Josh.
You're gonna make me cry thinking about
But I'm
Arbulin.
biased.
Ian.
It's all.
Ian.
I heard my name. I'm saying thank you.
But also, yeah,
Timberpose.
Fiku is also. I love Fiku.
Timber
Are we
and
picking them
Armodius.
based on just liking them, or are we picking them because they're good at their jobs?
Literally whatever. Just
I'm not
say a
gonna
name.
sit. What makes them good to you? That's up to you.
The answer is
I
Jack
like
Nexus.
chaos.
Soy Bob Reddit pants.
It's Soy Bob Reddit Pants an admin?
No.
Yes, Jack Raxus.
That is
Okay.
that's Jack
Oh,
Nexus.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Also, who's your most hated maintainer?
You.
Or
Fiku.
also Fiku.
Any of the sprite tainers.
I don't
Hold
think
on,
about
where
the
is it?
coders at all.
Most recently, it was Melbert because he put some shit on one of my PRs, and I got angry. Where is it?
Well, now
Wait,
your PRs are never gonna get merged. Melbert's
who
gonna
merged?
hunt you down.
I'm raging against the machine here.
Who merged QM command?
Oh, me, I think.
All right, fuck you.
No,
You're on my
it
shit list for the rest of
wasn't
your life.
you.
It was me.
Yeah, it was Willard.
All right, fuck you, Fulp Willard. You're at the bottom of my voting list right now.
Good.
I thought Mothblocks merged QM
Free my homie.
command.
No, Mobless doesn't care about it.
It was definitely me.
Well, no. Oh, it was Mothblocks that wanted it so that QM could be a non-human, I think.
Yeah. A fucking stupid decision.
I gotta
Why is
amend
this
my
good for the
answer.
game? Orange Man
Whoever-
said so.
Whoever it was that closed the PR that I paid Scriptus $20 to make, fuck you, bitch.
You should have paid him $20.
Yeah, you should have put
Obviously, you
money
bribed
where
the
it
wrong
matters.
person. Should have gone to the maintainer.
Pulp did it. Oh no.
Why didn't you pay me? I would have merged it.
Who did it? It was John Fulp Willard.
Of course, it
All
was
right,
John.
let me show you what I have to say about that. Oh, too many uploads.
All right, guys, and I believe that is the grand headman debate to an end. I'm really sorry to the other people who have requested questions, but Oranges, as I said earlier, was our last.
I want to thank everyone for showing up today. Notice was short, but we got 14 of our candidates in here right now, and
Yeah, this
I
is
want to just give a round of applause to them for excellent answers and making this a debate to remember.
I
Yeah, this was a good
can't hit
debate.
my push to talk.
Yeah, I can't.
Set this up in a day. Like, what the hell? He's so good. Good job.
We can't
Just
clap
as I
because the soundboard has been disabled, and I don't know how to re-enable it.
No, wait, hold on. I got this.
With your hands. There you go. See?
Sorry, only
I
know
also
how
want
to
to
clap the soundboard.
thank both Wriggle and Keith here. They've been a huge help, especially right now, having this whole debate. Keith and Wriggle have really aided me.
Yeah, the insight that Keith has given was really helpful. I really liked it.
Keith has given a lot of insight, but also Wriggle banned me yesterday, so.
So base. Where can I vote for Wriggle?
Justified. What the fuck? I love Wriggle so much. That's my overlord.
I will make Wriggle wear green tights, and he will be the Wriggler.
Let's just make Wriggle host, like we said at the beginning of this.
Wriggle's okay. Now, Wriggle's one of the good ones. Wriggle's one of the good
The issue
admins.
is, if Wriggle won...
Keith isn't a secret furry. He's open.
Keith,
I'm not
Keith, when are we doing the next My Little Pony watch party?
Well, I don't know. Are we watching the new season? Are we watching season 6, My Little Pony?
Dude, the
You know what?
new season
Yeah,
sucks.
brother.
Oh my god.
You know what? The watch party's moved to admin chat from event chat, and I haven't been able to join it.
We've been doing watch parties in art and karaoke VC. We also have
Hello?
done karaoke in
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear
No.
I was wondering, will Helpless Crane or Soma69 ever be unbanned?
No.
No.
If I get hit, they're fucking banned.
No.
What do you mean?
Gone forever.
Unban Soma? What the
Give me
fuck?
6 months. Give me 6 months. I'll run again and I'll unban Soma because Soma's funny.
Okay.
I can't to fucking ban his ult.
What about Lucy Cicero?
Keep that lobster
Never.
banned. Put them in the pot, boil them.
Guys,
Lucy,
hear them
you
scream.
see, I myself have fought on many glass tables in the medbay and I've never been banned, so I think it's unfair how they've been banned.
We got a free.
Maybe Terry's just a
cupcake.
better server. Maybe Terry's just a better server. Nothing else to say.
I'm sorry, Terry can't be better because Sybil has the N-word crown. I'm sorry. I'm just telling it like it is.
Man, you're flexing. A few years ago, we were beating you like fourfold, but you fucking just because you won this year, you think you're some kind of bitch.
That's all that matters. We got the trophy.
Oh, bro, you're-
All candidates here. You got to get oranges to play Space Station 13. This is your mission this term.
I'm
It's
just
not
upset that I
impossible.
didn't get to fight these people in the blood sports of the Headman debate.
Wait for the toolbox.
Dude,
It comes.
don't even fucking play the game.
Oh, yeah.
haven't told mention the
Stop,
They
stop
lost.
announcing
The L, bro,
Toolbox
they lost.
2023 ETA at some point this year.
They lost in the Headman candidate toolbox to fucking John Fulp Willard, who's a
Dude,
maintainer, bro.
shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I
This
tried
dude is
so
still the
hard.
player of the game.
2 toolbox knockdowns, bro.
Headman's
You
join
threw
the
a
toolbox
toolbox
when
back
Honestly,
to him.
honestly,
we opened
I
it
would
up.
solo you. I would solo all of you. Not even a fucking problem.
Can we fucking ban Timonk for like lagging the server in the middle of the fucking?
I did. I banned him for an hour.
Ban him for 10,000 hours, bro.
Keith, if your playstyle in Overwatch is representative of how you play HOS,
No,
I
it
could kick
wasn't.
your ass.
Can we find everyone who played TF2 today in this Headman debate? You are now
Can we find where they live?
on probation for the next for every question you did it for.
Can we just make
Probation
a
for 3 hours.
doxing joke in the Headman debate?
You know what you did.
Why is everyone up here?
I don't know. So we just fucking put me up here.
I mean, welcome up.
Give them
welcome up.
in.
How do I?
I love TF2. I love TF2. I'm
We're talking about
just saying,
Titanfall, right? We're talking about Titanfall?
Titanfall,
Yeah.
dude. Let's fucking go.
Titanfall is one of the greatest games of all time.
Titanfall is so much better.
In
It's
Titanfall,
now it's now a
Titanfall
coding
2 is
meeting.
legendary.
We can call it to order.
No,
We'll
no,
be
no.
answering coding questions for the next 12 hours.
When are we
Oh,
making
God.
the Space Station 13 Roblox server?
When you
Okay.
code it.
When you code it.
We definitely should have a Roblox server.
We should.
I'm kind of surprised we don't.
There is a Roblox SS13 game. I think.
Yeah, we just need to pirate it and then make it our own.
Can I ask a
You
question?
literal children.
How do you guys play on green shift without killing yourselves in like the first 10
It's so
minutes?
boring.
I gotta tell you the story. I gotta tell you the story.
Because I
Okay.
enjoy roleplay.
I pull up
What
YouTube
do you roleplay
documentaries.
with? What? How
I
do you
just
roleplay this
self-antag.
simulation?
The other day, okay.
That's so true, Charlie.
The other
sorry.
day, it was a green shift on Sybil. We got the random vent biological obstruction, and there were 2 moth roaches that fucking spawned in the chapel office. So I took both of them. I went over to Catelyn Bates. I said, "Look at this fucking creature!" Okay. Catelyn Bates put it on her head and then was pretending to be possessed by the moth roach. So I put it on my head, did the same thing, and for the next fucking hour and a half, the entire station was in chaos because people that were wearing moth roaches on their head were converting the other people that weren't. And we got the entirety of security. It was fucking awesome. That's how you fucking play a green shift, dude.
I think that is
Moth
Space
roaches are an
Station at its core
atrocity
right
and should
there.
have never